No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Yeah, no, none at all. Visitors should be thankful, but don't come at all. Come at all. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, but don't come at all. Where was the xenophobia when we were fighting with Ethiopia? Where were the bros when we exposed King and Leopold? Where were the vision for righteous when we fought for laws that made y'all migrants? Some grateful, some hateful, but all put up to our table and pulled out with a plate full. Oh, all put up to our table and pulled out with a plate full. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, I don't come at all. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, I don't come at all. Where was the xenophobia when we were fighting with Ethiopia? Where were the bros when we exposed King Leopold? Where were the visa for righteous when we fought for laws that made y'all migrants? Some grateful, some hateful, but all put up to our table and poured out with a plate full. All put up to our table and poured out with a plate full. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, I don't come at all. No disrespect in my house, 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 in my house. Visitors should be thankful, I don't come at all. Come at all.
This is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
Shout out to the boy Nick though. Nick's a cool dude. There's one time I was like, I would never be in the same room with him. Now he a cool though. I told him when he go off on some little racist tangent. I don't like that, but like I like his logical. Like he'll make logical arguments, and I'm a logical.
That's the way I get disrespectful. I'm gonna start really getting on business. Yo, little baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album. Y'all paid me. Did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be bought? Any of you lie about anything I'm saying, and if I'm lying about it, I promise you, I will show my whole bank account for every dollar y'all ever gave me in life. I will give it back to you because I do not respect hoe. I will give it back. P, baby, the entire, and I'm telling you, even Universal Music Group, Capitol Records, Motown, I will give every dollar back. And I'm telling you, I got the receipts. Did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be bought?
Are you getting so political that we know that gave you 5 bands to post that bum ass video? Yo, I had to call you one time. Like, you don't be posting that you feel like, yo, this is fire. Don't lie, gangster.
He's never ever paid me. We don't do pay for play. Like, you can't buy my pain. I've always said the moment you can buy my pain, I don't matter. The moment you could buy my pain, I don't matter. You literally. That's the way I get disrespectful. I'm gonna start really getting on business. Yo, little baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album. Y'all paid me. Any of you lie about anything I'm saying, and if I'm lying about it, I promise you, I will show my whole bank account for every dollar y'all ever gave me in life. I will give it back to you because I do not respect hoe. I will give it back. P, baby, the entire, and I'm telling you, even Universal Music Group, Capitol Records, Motown, I will give every dollar back. And I'm telling you, I got the receipts. He's never ever paid me. We don't do pay for play. Like, you can't buy my pain. I've always said the moment you could buy my pain, I don't matter. The moment you could buy my pain, I don't matter. You literally. Did you think I was a cheap hoe that just could be bought?
All right, family, you dig? I found this interesting right here. It looks like there's a petition it's asking for the African Union to cease and desist. Okay, let's talk about it. The issue, to whom it may concern at the African Union, we, the indigenous Black Americans, the descendants of the original people of this land, now known as the United States of America, stand in solemn unity and strength to issue this formal cease and desist notice. We don't approach you with ignorance, confusion, or blind acceptance. We come with truth, clarity, ancestral authority, and righteous indignation. We are speaking not only for ourselves, but on behalf of our ancestors, our children, and all indigenous Black Americans who have been abused, erased, and exploited by global powers, colonial systems, and yes, even by Africa itself. The truth is no longer hidden. We are not African. We are not African Americans. We are indigenous to the Americas. Our ancestors were on this land long before the Atlantic slave trade. We were already here. All right. So now when they say our, right, is that representing me? When you say we were already here, is that representing Unbiased Ron? I mean, I'm sure some of you were already here, but I don't believe I was already here. So sorry, it's already. So it looks like they're speaking to. It's looking like they're repping. I don't know who they're representing. A little confused on that right there. And they said it says some of us uh been on this land long before. Yeah. All right. Anyway, you see, I ain't like that wording. I ain't like that. So this is some more of it. So how the Freedmen Trust Force. So this is another one, I believe, how the Freedmen Trust Force African Union to retreat from U.S. jurisdiction claims. Okay, let's read this. On September, what is this right here? Why is this in my way? Okay, get out the way. What? Why is that there? Okay, so it's this one of those articles. Oh boy. Let's try to read it with that in the way. I don't want this, man. I want to donate. Not right now. Can I read it first? Then maybe I donate. Jeez, they said you're not reading. Okay. Anyway, September 22nd, 2025, the Freedmen Reparations Fund Trust. Okay, this is different than the other thing I just read. The Freedom Reparations Fund Trust, FRFT, issued a formal legal and cultural enforcement notice to the African Union's 6th Region USA affiliate. The letter, delivered directly to the administration of AU6RG.org, challenged the African Union's unauthorized and false representation of freedmen of the United States, the lineal descendants of persons enslaved in the U.S. prior to 1865. Okay, the trust cited misrepresentation, jurisdictional overreach, and misuse of protected terminology, warning that the organization's language and claims could result in formal enforcement under U.S. copyright, trademark, and fiduciary law. Okay, so they falsely, let me just read that. Damn, I ain't trying to read the whole damn thing. They falsely imply African Union authorities over U.S. lineages that descend from domestic slavery. They attempted to insert freedmen identity into an African Diaspora 6th region framework not authorized by the verified freedmen community or the FRFT. The trust rejected these unauthorized claims on legal and jurisdictional grounds. Okay. So they want immediate removal of all references to freedmen, African Americans, and U.S. descendants of slavery from, I guess they got a problem with the term Black. Okay. You know what? I noticed too, a lot of people who represent freedmen now I ain't saying all, but a lot of them be ex-Moors. You know, the more anybody that's from Noble Drew Ali theology, a lot of these guys don't like to use the word Black. They think Black is associated with death, you know, all type of stuff. All right. Okay. But man, well, they said it here. They said and Black America. Okay, so they said Black here. All right, so I'll take that back. I retract that. But they don't use it enough for me. They use African American here. This should have been Black Americans. Oh shit. Oh, look what I just did. Anyway, a full disclosure of any financial donations, partnerships, or grants. Here come a sneeze connected to the misuse of freedom identity. All right, anyway. So yeah, so as you can see, the lineage, whether they call themselves indigenous, whether they call themselves freedmen, they're speaking out to the AU, which is an acronym that stands for African Union, saying we don't want to be involved in your mess and your scam. Okay. So you're going to get it many different ways. Indigenous Americans, you're going to get it from Indigenous Black Americans. You're going to get it from another group called the something Freedmen. They like, yo, leave us alone. All right. All right. So let's cover this Sha'Carri Richardson thing. So you're gonna see her driving really
Flashing
crazy.
them to get out of your way, are you? Let's give you a path to get past them. See what you do. Passing a car at 101, 103, 104. County motor 50, copy 1050. Gonna be 429 northbound at Stony Brook, Florida tag. On a gray Aston Martin and an occupants. I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous excessive speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand. I communicate with you, sir. I really do not want to go to jail.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
Sir, I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around. My phone is sitting here and it's slid on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I communicate.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No.
I need your license, your registration, and your
insurance. Please, sir, I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance on my phone. There was no intention of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show the
No,
court.
like I told you, you're going to jail.
Please don't allow me to go to jail. Please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir. I really.
If nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail, Jack?
Yes.
Let me run this back a little bit because I just noticed I didn't capture her face. Yo, but he was a little snobby with her. But I get it. She's running through traffic at 104 miles. He's upset. So I'm going to give him a little pass. He's upset. And Miss D, peace. Indigenous warrior, peace. Golden Brown. Who else? We got Five Shine in the building. Yes, I get it. He's a little upset because she was going through traffic. Y'all seen her, kind of crazy. And it's like I don't know why people drive like this. Hey, Miss D, when I'm driving, you might catch me at the most. You might catch me 10 miles above the speed limit. I do not play. Mm-mm. No. I never had a speeding ticket. Don't want one. So, man, I'm just gonna get there when I can. But I may play with 10 miles over. She did. She's in 60 something miles per hour. She's at 104. Like, and she like. There's sometimes I was driving, cruising, because some vehicles you will cruise. You look down, you at like 99, 100. She's like, oh shit. No, she was swerving through traffic, high beaming people. So I'm gonna run it back. You're gonna catch her face. Okay, so I feel sorry for her, but her excuses were bad. The minute cops, first of all, you gotta know you're doing some messed up stuff. So you gotta anticipate you might get pulled over and what you're gonna tell the cops to get you out of that situation. She messed up. She freestyled. She acted like she was not gonna get pulled over. And all of her excuses were the worst. No, my phone, my nail polish, pink. I told the Chinese lady I want purple. Yeah, her excuses were terrible. Then she had to smile. He said, get that. He said, wipe, you supposed to be crying, not smiling. He said, wipe that smile off your face, man. He wasn't having none of that.
I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous excessive.
Yeah, up here in Jersey, it's really hard to get locked up for speeding unless you're doing some super wild stuff. But just tickets mainly. But when I was down south, I was warned, like, hey, you speed out here, you will go to jail. That's all I need to hear.
Speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at 100. Hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand. I communicate with you, sir. I really do not want to go to jail.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
Sir, I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around. My phone is sitting here, and it's slid on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies, sir. Please, I communicate.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No.
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance is on my phone. There was no intention of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show the
No,
court.
like I told you, you're going to jail.
Please don't allow me to go to jail. Please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir. I really.
It's nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail, Jake?
Yes.
Sir, I really was not meant to intentionally speeding at
That's
all.
even more scary.
Sir,
that means that you're doing
please.
things unintentionally on a
Sir,
task that
please,
requires
please,
all
sir,
your attention.
Sir, please, please, I'm begging you.
You are going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls.
Sir,
You are going to
please,
jail.
please,
I am
sir.
towing your car.
Please, sir, don't take me to jail.
Yeah.
Hey, family, let me give you guys a warning. When they say everything you say will count against you in the court of law, that's 100% true. I remember when I was in Newark, New Jersey, I damn near yielded through a stop sign. My luck. Newark cops ain't never around nowhere. I yield through a stop sign. The first car is a goddamn Newark cop, and they are the worst. No, East Orange might be the worst. Irvington, but Newark is probably third. A lot of tethers be behind those wheels. Oh my God. I pulled over. My dumb ass said, oh, I'm trying to be honest, like her. Well, she lied a little bit. But I was like, yeah, I ain't see you. Oh, you ain't see me? Oh, then that is, he added another ticket when I said that. So I was already getting running through a stop sign. And then when I said I didn't see him, oh, you didn't see me? Okay. I think reckless driving, some crazy shit he added on there. I was like, oh my God, did I just not fall for that? So, when you do something like that, you get hella letters in the mail from attorneys. And man, this is before a pandemic. So I had some paper. I'm like, you know what? This attorney said I just pay like a grand and I'm guaranteed to like walk away with nothing, like a downgraded ticket. Man, sent that man the bread, went to court. He wasn't even there. He already had the thing sold up. The judge came to speak to me, said my name. He looked down. He was like, all right, just resolve whatever, and whatever downgraded thing I got instead. Yeah, so I'm one of them people. If that ticket is severe enough, I'd rather pay to play. I ain't trying to get none of those points. Anyway, so what she's saying right now can't be used against her. That's the whole point. Shut up. Don't say nothing. If you're in the wrong, do not mention more wrong stuff you did as far as traffic violations. Don't say, yeah, I was on the phone, had to call my ticket. I was eating. Oh, ticket. You dig? So just try to say least as possible, less as possible.
Do everything.
No.
I will do everything.
You have two options.
Listen. Sir, please.
Listen, you have two options.
Please, sir.
The first option is you can either ride with me in my car.
Damn, that's loud.
The second option is you are going to go to jail in a cage car.
No,
Which do you prefer?
Look, I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here. I have a team here. I have a coach, everything, sir. I was not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening. Nothing you say is going to change.
So I want
All right, so make some phone calls. Let people know that you're going to have a $500 bond.
Subscribe.
Yeah, so she got, when you're a celebrity, hold on.
Dauphin County District Attorney's Office.
When you're a celebrity, you get locked up like that, it's gonna be everywhere. So I don't know what's going on in her life, man, but I hope she healed, man, because she been in the news like 3 times. We know the marijuana thing, the airport thing, and now the speeding thing. Sha'Carri, man, you're already public enemy number 1. Yeah, they're gonna ride you, man, for this one. Gotta be careful. Gotta respect your name. Dame Dash did say something positive on Breakfast Club. He said, what did he say? He said, I don't hustle for something. I hustle for my last name. So Sha'Carri Richardson, you got to protect your name. Moneybagg Yo got a song called Protect the Brand. Your brand is your name. Because at some point you want to sell products or you dig sell an image, the Nike, whoever, they ain't gonna want you with this image right here, man. You gotta be careful. So anyway, we know about Minnesota, right? All the scams going on in Minnesota, scamming our youth out of, resources, education. Well, they got some scams in Pennsylvania. Check it out.
Dozens of people with scheming to misuse SNAP benefits to the tune of $80,000. This is an operation that started in 2023. It involves a Steelton store called Quick Stop Convenience. Here to talk more about it right now, our digital content producer, Grace Miller. You talked to the DA about this as well. So how are they pulling this thing off, according to the DA?
That's right. So this convenience store, actually, it kind of breaks down into 2 different levels, right? So at the time that this all was found to have happened, the convenience store was actually not even licensed to be giving out or, to be accepting SNAP
there's
transactions.
Phase 1. Right.
So there's that. They are accused, that owner, of somehow illegally obtaining point-of-service systems from actually giant food store locations across the state, using those point-of-sale systems, having people come in, they would swipe their EBT cards, punch in their PIN, but they found that they were actually exchanging those benefits not for the food items, which like they're supposed to be, but instead for cash, which is illegal.
Did they know it was happening, the people that were doing it?
It seemed
So they were in on it together?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So part of the investigation, according to the documents and DA Franchardo, who I spoke with today, is that they had state troopers undercover going in, kind of doing these transactions themselves. They said
I'm making coffee. I'm my bad, family. I'm making coffee and I missed the whole scam. Let's go back. I apologize. I got to go back. I missed the whole scam.
scheming to misuse SNAP benefits to the tune of $80,000. This is an operation that started in 2023. It involves a Steelton store called Quick Stop Convenience. Here to talk more about it right now, our digital content producer, Grace Miller. You talked to the DA about this as well. So how are they pulling this thing off, according to the DA?
That's right. So this convenience store, actually, it kind of breaks down into two different levels, right? So at the time that this all was found to have happened, the convenience store was actually not even licensed to be giving out or, to be accepting
Okay,
SNAP
there's phase one.
transactions.
Yeah.
Yo, so they not even licensed to accept SNAP? Oh my God. Yeah, I bet you the convenience store got to be non-Americans, non-Native Americans. I guarantee you. When I say Native, I'm talking about the original citizens.
There's that. They are accused, that owner, of somehow illegally obtaining point-of-service systems from actually giant food store locations across the state, using those point-of-sale systems, having people come in, they would swipe their EBT cards, punch in their PIN, but they found that they were actually exchanging those benefits not for the food items, which like they're supposed to be.
You already know, Indigenous, that most of these scams. I was going to say that, but well, since you already opened the bag, I might as well just say it. Yes, I guarantee you, most of these scams are in Demo-rat-ran cities and states. That's a fact. Okay, for some reason, man, the Democrats, they want these, like, they're trying so hard to prove that foundational Black Americans are lazy. Anybody can come to this country under any status, H-1B, student visa, work visa, refugee, asylee, evacuee. You dig? They're trying to prove anybody can come to this country and live the American dream, but foundational Black Americans. You dig? So they're scamming to help these lazy bastards out level up, right? To just prove their scientific racial theory correct, that we're just inherently lazy. Everybody can succeed but us. Like that's the scam.
But instead for cash, which is illegal.
Did they know it was happening, the people that were doing it?
It seemed
so they were in on it together.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So part of the investigation, according to the documents and DA Franchardo, who I spoke with today, is that they had state troopers undercover going in, kind of doing these transactions themselves. They said that they observed a lot of patrons walk in. They can access the database, see that said person paid $500 for something in there, but they're coming out with nothing.
Okay, yeah.
So that kind of ticks them.
How many people are we talking about here who are in trouble?
Yeah, so according to the documents, again, it cited that around 70 customers were supposedly.
Now check it out. These 70 people were approved for SNAP. Now SNAP is for people who are not doing well and need some help, right? And look at them. And I guarantee you, man, non-FBA. Scamming the system, never needed help, and to begin with, we're being denied, they're being accepted, approved, and they're running a massive scam. Yeah, right. This is just crazy. Trucking licenses, right? Remember the CDLs they were giving them. Remember the regular driver licenses they were giving these immigrants, illegal immigrants, and then they say, FBA, you should support this. Family, if we supported this scam, you know how far they'll drag us in the dirt if we actually fell for the bait, the Democrat bait, and actually supported these scams and illegals. If we did that, man, we could never recover in America. Look at these guys, and then they supported illegals and scam, like, man, all the smoke clear. Remember, when they deport, and when they catching scams, family, 10, 15, 20 years are going to go by. And that's called the smoke being cleared. And all they're going to do is return back to us defending illegals and criminal activity. That's how that would have been written in history. I'm so glad we was like, nah, y'all good.
Involved in this. And, I think they said that it was around $80,000.
When you put it all together. This is going on for a while. I mean, they didn't catch it right away,
2023.
Right?
Yes, exactly. So they started investigating in 2023, but the documents say that it actually had started in 2022. So we knew about the charges against that store owner and their employees back in December, But what the DA says is new today is that there are still charges being filed against the people who did go in, punch in their EBT card numbers for cash.
Still finding this. So what's happening now as far as like preventing fraud like this? Because that's a big concern with people with EBT cards or with SNAP benefits is the misuse of taxpayer money.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, part of what Chardo said is it's hard because the victims in this case are kind of like everybody who gets those benefits, right? Because it puts a bad name to SNAP recipients when in reality, the majority of these people are using them how they're supposed to be used. But certainly he said there's been many more charges in the works that will be filed. You know, just coming through court documents today, we know that it's 50 plus people who have been charged at least today and yesterday.
Yeah, fraud's such a big, you know, topic right now
Umbrella,
across the country. So whenever this comes up, it's very interesting. Is there anything else you're looking at with this? Any questions you still have to be answered that you're thinking about?
I think it's interesting, you know, how they've said that they can track the scanning of the cards to find out, you know, where those transactions happen and try to verify that it was fraudulent, right? So of course that's an advantage in that way, but you also wonder if having a digital card might open you up to some kind of other avenues of.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on that too.
Interesting
All right.
information.
Miller, thanks so much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, now let's get to this guy. I don't know if he's a tether. I don't know what this guy is, right? But I never heard of this guy. But FBA Spaces made a big deal of this guy. So obviously FBAs were watching this guy. Man, yo, family, we got to be careful who we support. Yo, if they're not openly saying they're 10 toes with FBA or they are FBA, we got to leave that content alone, man. Like, we're trying to be entertained by people who want us to sink, by people who want us to fail. So we're entertaining them while they be successful with our viewership. And in return, they defame us and they badger us. I have no idea who this guy is. Okay. My first time hearing about this guy was today because he was like, it was big news in FBA Spaces. Anyway, look at the violent languages he used against Tariq Nasheed and the lineage.
You got niggas like Tariq Nasheed gaining such a following because he's abusive in his verbiage, he's abusive in his rhetoric, and he's here to divide. And his psychology is that of a pimp. All of his books prior to his Black liberation, Black nationalist, Black power movement, all his books was about being a player and a pickup artist. Basically, he was trying to teach you how to be a pimp. Well, we know the pimp to pastor pipeline. A lot of niggas jump out the pimp and go straight into the pastor. That's the best thing smoking. But as things change, as cultures change and evolve, well, he just decided to do it in the Pan-African Black space and then dropped the Pan-Africanism. Hidden Colors was all about what was going on in Africa. All this acknowledgement of Africa. A film directed by him, produced by him. Extremely Pan-African film. What is the person who has this gift of gab, the pickup artist, the pimp, who has seen a righteous path but didn't see no money in that? Well, what do you got to do? You got to get back to pimping. But you're going to pimp minds. So what is the advocacy for? What is the abuse that he carries out? Separation versus inclusion. He wants the Black American to separate from global Blackness. He wants you isolated here on your own. What do cult leaders do? They say,
I just want
FBA, the foundational Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis, none of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other Black people all day.
So family, that's why we got to get the language right. There are no other Black people in America. Okay, the only Black people in America are foundational Black American, and we sometimes go by ADOS, Indigenous Black Americans, Indigenous Americans, and descendants of freedmen. There are no other Black people. Okay, so once again, these guys pretend that we can't walk and chew gum, that we got to only focus on Klansmen who, I mean, how many times you ever seen a Klansman in your life? How many times you ever went to their spaces? How many times do they come to our spaces? How many times do they run for office and misrepresent us, cosplay as us? Come on, man. They're not a threat at all. Who else you say? So no, the people who are your biggest threat are the people who look like you. we even got a saying in our culture. Your biggest enemy is going to be a family member. And outside that person is a close friend because they know the most about you. They can expose and reveal and disclose the most. A stranger's no threat to you. How much can they disclose and expose? You dig? So yeah, so the people who look like us but behave like a Klansman, that person is worse than a Klansman because a Klansman, I see you with your outfit on, I see you without your outfit on, you're still white. I see you. I got my guard up. I got my Mayweather shoulder roll defense for you. So when you look like me to a degree and you're cosplaying from afar, you appear to be FBA. You dig? Now you are harder to detect. You're going to get more things done that's negative against the lineage. So no, we take that seriously. We know who's a greater threat. And these folks are outright in our spaces undermining our reparations movement, our delineation movement. We don't see Klansmen. We don't see other white supremacists out here in front of our reparations movement and our delineation movement. No. And who could respect anybody who would wear a hat like that? Like I said, I never heard this guy until today. Okay, my first time hearing about this guy. Okay, I'm trying to get something done here. God damn, man. Okay, cool. That might work. All right, give me a second to get this. Trying to get a better. Oh boy. God damn. I'm trying to get a better. Yeah, but has anybody ever heard this guy before today? Who knows about this guy and what type of content does he normally delivers? Because I ain't never heard about this guy before today. And again, it goes back to Tariq Nasheed. He's the leader, so you got to attack the leader, quote unquote, and then you got to then after you attack the leader, you attack the cult members, and they say FBA, the FBA group. However, they defame us. Okay, give me 1 second. One second. Okay. Yeah, so they making leader. There's another tether out there that I haven't brought to your attention because I don't want because you guys don't listen. Some of you guys, I say stop giving these tether views, man. It don't matter if you go there to troll or no. You're validating. YouTube don't know you're trolling them. Okay, when you go to their accounts, YouTube can't differentiate who's trolling and who's there because they're their supporter. They see you as a viewer, and they see that this channel needs more light, needs more free publicity. So they start to put those channels in people live feeds, and let you know we got a tether channel popping because FBA's can't stay on code. So anyway, there's a tether that's out there who's trying hard as hell to be the new Frank Zanu. all he does like other content, and of course his most viewed content is addressing Foundation Black Americans or Tariq Nasheed or Corey Holcomb, all of their content. So we see they are literally eating off us again. Like, yeah, they said, yeah, we can't. Okay, this is the tether mind state. Yeah, you're trying to delineate and block us from your resources. That's designed only for you and monies. Okay, fine. We're gonna go on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and we're gonna make money off you that way. We're gonna talk about you all day long. We're gonna add thumbnails, and it's working. Like now, all of these tethers come out of nowhere with hella channels. Tariq Nasheed in Senegal, or this and that, FBA this. Yeah, so they still found a way to eat off us. But y'all got to keep in mind that there's only a few tethers in this country. So none of them can really be big without foreign support. Either FBAs, white supremacists, Latinos, but Latinos, white supremacists are not watching their content. So the only people who could make Tether successful are FBAs. Off-code FBAs. Let their channels die. When you do that, you discourage them from making videos about us, and they're forced to do their regular content. Okay, they can't get no motion when they make content about Africa or their island. No motion. So stop rewarding them. Let their channels die. Tupac said, die slow. My fofo make sure all y'all channels don't grow. You mother effers can't see us to be us. We the realest. Effers. We tether killers. We tether boy killers. All right. So hold on. I don't like how that look right there. Hold on. I'm trying to get this right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me. Oh shit. Yeah, and don't forget, we have the glow. Whoever we give our attention to is normally blows up. We made Kai Cenat the golden goose. We made, these tethers the gold. Kai Cenat's the golden goose. The golden goose. The only person that's probably surpasses him is our own ISO Speed. But why is Kai Cenat even there? Like, that's just crazy. Like, he should never even be there. We made academics. Like, we got tethers almost as successful as us in our country, and that's FBA's fault. We're the ones validating them, giving them attention. Okay, so I'm working on my new thumbnail. I didn't like that thumbnail, by the way, because I felt like it's going to take forever, because I'm like a perfectionist a little bit. So I made a better thumbnail just now. I just had to. This damn weather, man. This Jersey weather, man. I think I'm coming down with a cold, like some type of sickness again. It's the third time. Like I barely healed. I've never been sick back to back to back like that. This 2 degrees weather, man. I ain't feeling this at all. You dig? All right, here we go. Yeah, so we gonna let me see. We got some new faces in here. He's supposed to be like a more reliable version of FD Signifier. Yeah, it's hard to take him seriously with that hat. Yeah. Yes, he has the Grits and Eggs podcast. Okay. Let me give Big Game a lineage wrench. Yeah, I was really trying to go live a little earlier, but whatever. You know, sometimes you go live depending on the day. Oh, Friday. It's Friday? It's Friday, right? Yeah, Fridays are always tough to go live. Everybody's live Friday. I seen people. I seen everybody live today. But I got to get these out the way. You feel me? So let me do this. Let me show you how to new thumbnail. Okay. All right, so that's the new thumbnail. That's how I would have had it if I didn't rush to go live. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna touch on some information. We're gonna touch on hold on. God damn. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So all over the internet, literally all over the internet, you got tethers with brand new accounts. They trash their old failed accounts. They make new accounts. And all of them are in a fake outrage with Turk Nasheed in Senegal. Spinning the narrative, lying. I mean, damn. Hey, yo, the advantage of FBA, the advantage of being of the lineage is that family, we don't gotta lie about our ops. Kendrick Lamar said, don't tell a lie about us, and we won't tell a truth about you all. The advantage of FBA, we don't gotta lie about our ops. When we speak about white supremacists, it be all facts. It be all facts. We don't lie about our ops. When we get on tethers, all truth. Again, I ask people, point out the lie. Point out the lies that we say that's a talking point in FBA spaces about any one of those groups. When we get on the Latino community, point out the lies. We say, oh, all of a sudden it's black on black and brown. And even that phrase, we're done with that because we're taking black back. So there ain't no black on brown. Ain't no black and brown. Like, you're brown in what sense? All of you got a color of butter pecan. And we don't use black as a color. So it's like, what do you mean black and brown? Like, how do you guys define brown? Oh, color. Okay, nah, that's not how we define black. No. Our blackness ain't color based. It's lineage based. It's ethnogenesis based. Yeah, so it can't be a black and brown. But yeah, we're honest about them. Racist as hell. Don't want nobody black around them. Not all, but enough. Too many. Too many. Again, I was kind of low key dating this Puerto Rican girl. It wasn't really a date, just like kind of flirting. But she wanted me to help her grandmother move some stuff around. Like, I think I was in high school, like senior. So we was somehow, I don't know how we got to her grandmother's house, but we got to her grandmother's house some way, maybe a bus, I don't know. But in order for me to get in their house, and I would keep telling the story over and over and over. This was my first time experiencing this. I wouldn't have believed it myself had I not experienced it. In order to get in her grandmother's house to help her grandmother move stuff around, she had to tell her grandmother I was mixed with Puerto Rican. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that before I even came over here? I'd have been like, nah, I'm good. So I'm over there. oh yeah, my grandma don't allow blacks in the house, so I'm gonna tell her you mixed with Puerto Rican. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So when I walked to the door, grandma looked with disgust. What? No, he mixed with Puerto Rican. He's half tether. She told him. She told her grandma. That was crazy. I'm like, wow, this really goes on? So somebody explain that. Let a Pan-African explain that. Oh, it goes both ways. When do we ever say, oh, it's Puerto Rican? We don't allow Puerto Ricans in our house. When do we ever say that? Okay, so I got something else for you. I got another update. So there's a city next to, not too far from my city. And like we always called it the KKK. We always said, hey, if you go around Clark, it's Clark, Clark. We always said Clark with three Ks. We say, hey, be careful riding through Clark, man. Those cops that ticket you up. And by the way, this is a Democrat ran state, Democrat state, okay, that protects illegals. The okay, but again, like we always joked around, but like we seriously joking, and we said, hey man, be careful going to Clark. That's like you know, that's KKK Clark. That's Clark spelled with three Ks. You dig? Okay. So I'm gonna give you the latest on that. Okay. I thought I changed my thumbnail, but let me try again. I didn't save it. All right. There we are. Okay, so that's the new thumbnail. It's a little better. Other thumbnail was a rush. It was all over the place. I was trying to help him go live, so that's why it looked all sloppy. Forgive me for that, but this one looks way better. Okay. And I changed the title of the video. Refresh your screens and you'll see the new title. Okay, so now let me get to where I want to get to. So some clout chasing culture vulture says Jay-Z, Pusha T, and they said Jay-Z and Pusha T are named in the Epstein files, but they got a picture of Drake too there. So it's like clout chasing stuff. All right. So let's go here. All right. Let me bring this to you. God damn. Check this out. Now, nobody's going to be surprised about this story. Okay. Here you go, family.
Allegations of systemic racism at the center of a new lawsuit against a township in New Jersey, its police department, and a former mayor.
Now, don't forget. Let me go back. Don't forget, family. We jokingly say amongst the lineage, we're on code. We call Clark. You see how it's spelled? We call it KKK. We spell it with three Ks. Again, like this place, Clark. We don't really go there for nothing. But in order to get to the other towns, you got to pass other black majority towns. You got to pass through Clark to get out of where we're at to get to another black town, like to play basketball, to go shopping, or whatever, to meet a friend, maybe a girl you're dating, a guy you're dating. To go that way, like kind of like not really Newark, but like Elizabeth. If you want to take a residential route, you got to go through Clark. So we'll say to each other, hey man, be careful going through Clan Clark. But we never thought it was official. Like we knew it was bad, but we never knew it was like this.
Suit against a township in New Jersey, its police department, and allegations of systemic racism at the center of a new lawsuit against a township in New Jersey, its police department, and a former mayor. That criminal complaint filed by the state of New Jersey alleges Clark Township and police department leaders regularly instructed officers to keep Black people out of Clark.
Notice it does not say African Americans. Okay? See, I pay attention to detail. He didn't say keep African Americans out of Clark. Okay? Keep Black people. They know who we are. They know about delineation. They know the lineage. They didn't say African Americans. And guess what? Out here in the East Coast, Northeast Coast, you got these guys with Caribbean flags on their car, Dominican flags. Yeah. So when they say cops don't see color or cops can't, yes, they can. They look at that flag. This says keep Black people out. It don't say keep Jamaicans out, keep Trinidadians out, keep Africans out, keep Dominicans out. It says keep Black people out. Now, of course, when they can't find us, they'll go to the next thing. But we are on their mind. Enemy number one. We are the people who deleted their forefathers, their ancestors in the Civil War and other race riots. We did that. Okay. And they'll never forgive us over that. So we got that history. We got that bad blood in their mind on our hands. Yeah, it doesn't say keep African Americans out. So they ride through with those flags, and when they ride with those flags represent peace treaties. That's like, remember, we signed a deal with you guys. That's what those flags represent in those cars when they ride through these Klan towns. You remember, our country signed a peace treaty with you guys. Okay, so leave us alone. Go after those Blacks. Remember, they never copped the plea. They never validated white supremacy on paper. So get those Blacks. All right, one more time.
Allegations of systemic racism at the center of a new lawsuit against a township in New Jersey, its police department, and a former mayor. That criminal complaint filed by the state of New Jersey
Shalom, blood Cupid. Let me give you a mod.
Police department leaders regularly instructed officers to keep Black people out of Clark.
Hey, family, let's stay on code here. Let's keep tradition. Everybody who's here viewing the video, go ahead and like the video. Thank you. Liking the video. You see when you like the video where the numbers get to. Yesterday, we started off slow. I encourage you guys to like the video. You did, and we got to about 270 people live last night. That's what happened when you like the video. So I will explain for the new people. Most of FBA channels become shadow banned at some point. All that means is that when we go live, a lot of our subscribers don't get a notification bell. So they don't know we're live. Okay, so the way to get around that, if you like the video, then our videos become a suggestion in our subscribers' live feeds. So although they didn't get a notification, they will see the live in their live feeds, right? As a suggestion. So that's the way to get around the shadow ban. But all of our channels are shadow banned. So it's important when y'all go to Afro Elite, Dennis Sperling, Tariq, or whoever, when you're watching them live or a premiere, like the video. That's going to help the next lineage relative see that they're live. So I always, even when I don't stay long, if I come check out Afro Elite just for a second, I like the video. You dig? I even type in the chat like, hey, thumbs up the video. So it don't be no competition, no jealousy. When I go to who else? King Supreme, I go to his channel briefly. I like the video. I give them a like. Even smaller channels, I go to their channels. I like it. I say what's up in there. I tell people thumb up the video. You dig? I think it's great. All right, so let's go. So yeah, like the video. That's the tradition here. Let's keep it going. You dig? So we don't need 260 every night. It's okay to do 70 here, 30 here. It don't matter. Like, I'm gonna go live regardless. It could be 15 people, and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna give it my all.
And the state attorney general says Clark leaders put policies in place with that goal in mind. New Jersey reporter Tony Yates live this evening in Clark with details on these.
So they put policies in place with that goal in mind. The goal is keep blacks out of Clark. It don't say keep African Americans out of Clark. It says keep blacks. But so this is to those disgusting African and Caribbean conservatives, and even the FBA conservative coons that act like systemic racism ended in 1968. And by the way, you know, I come up with acronyms all the time. So I said, it got to be an acronym because, you know, we call coons docs. Docs stand for domestic off code coons, and tethers is tethers, right? So I said, it got to be a terminology where we can say that encompasses both of them. So we ain't got to keep saying tethers and docs. So I said, you know what? How about cat? I know it sounds a little cheesy, but it's just simple. Cat, coons, and tethers. Real simple, right? Right in my face. So family, I'm going to keep breaking down the acronym after I say it to remind you who I'm talking about. Then eventually I don't got to break it down anymore. I just say cats, like these cats. And when I say cats, we're talking about the Pan-African coons and tethers alike. All right. So cats is one word, one acronym to describe both at the same time. All right. So these cats, these conservative cats, they pretend that systemic racism ended in 1968. And we're seeing it happen in real time in 2026. They put policies in place. So that means all these police officers, now Clark is a majority white town, but check it out. So like that ends the notion of the good white man, the good white woman. They were all instructed to be racist. So now they will all say they were not racist prior to this policy, prior to this command, this directive. They will all say, no, I'm not racist. I got black friends. But you all accepted the racist directive. Now we can literally compare you to a Nazi soldier who was told to do anti-Semitic things when they supposedly weren't anti-Semitic. I'm just following orders. Nah, it's not how that go, my guy. It's not how that go, my woman, my sister. You ain't following orders, committing crimes. You tell them, no, I'm out. Can't do that. And you become a whistleblower. So all these good whites, all these good Latinos working in Clark did not object to those racist directives, those racist policies. They actually carried them out willingly. Okay. Now, a whistleblower did come out eventually. And of course, that person was punished by the mayor and, you know, they fired him, no pay, some crap, but they ended up suing. You did. After this came out, they ended up suing. Yeah, I'm coming down with a cold sickness again. This is the third. Yeah, this weather it's the third time, man. God damn. I can't be healthy for more than 2 weeks. Third time. All right, anyway. Yeah. They all follow racial bias directives. Gladly, willingly. Not shamefully, unshamefully. They're so easily susceptible to FBA, to lineagism. I call it, you know, I say racism. No, I call it lineagism. Lineagism. Okay. That means you have some issue against the race. White people are so susceptible, so gullible and vulnerable to lineagism, anti-FBAism. Well, no, like they just need justification. Well, the mayor said it, so we had to follow orders. No, you could become a whistleblower like old boy, and then if you get fired, you can sue them and then get your job back. See how that works? Anyway.
Disturbing allegations. Tony?
Yes, Andrea, we reached out to the current mayor of Clark, Angel Albanese. The township clerk said that the mayor would have no comment about the attorney general's complaint, which is asking for, among other things, continued oversight of not only the township, but of the police department as well.
So all those tickets, when they found out that they were not people of color, because it said blacks, it didn't say keep out people of color, keep out minorities. No, he said black people, they should go to those tickets of people who got pulled over that were black in that time span and fix that, make it right. So the mayor was an Italian. He's Italian. This new mayor is Spanish. Like, why not do right and bring in? I mean, it's the mayor. It's crazy. The mayor of the city. Do right and bring in a Foundation Black American as mayor. That's who's going to set the police policies better, like more fair, more equal, non-discriminative, non-racial. But putting a Latino there, like, come on, man. Like, really? But again, this what happens when we allow them to act like we're all one. Like they're a minority, we're a minority. Stop. So no, we're gonna make a mayor the minority, another minority. So this is a minority coalition. Stop. These people just as white as you.
The investigation into discrimination in Clark Township has been ongoing for years now. The Union County Prosecutor's Office assumed control over the police department back in 2020 after a whistleblower's recordings documented racist remarks by former Mayor Salvatore Bonaccorso and police leaders at the time, and numerous complaints were filed by the public against police. Attorney General Matt Platkin and the Division on Civil Rights says Clark officials systematically discriminated against and harassed Black and other non-white drivers, and that those efforts were led and encouraged by Mayor Bonaccorso and Police Chief Pedro Matos. The investigation reveals Bonaccorso instructed officers to, quote, keep Black people out of Clark. For example, by focusing more patrols and traffic stops on roadways coming from neighboring towns that have higher minority populations, and using the excuse of smelling marijuana as a reason to stop and search Black and Hispanic drivers. The officers involved, including Chief Pedro Matos, are still suspended with pay. Mayor Bonaccorso stepped down.
Suspended with pay. Come on, man, that's a vacation. The reason why I never got pulled over going through Clark, because I had a BMW and it was tinted out. So like they automatically thought I lived in Clark. It did, because I didn't get pulled over. But if I had a typical, Negro car, I would have got pulled over. Because when I had like a Chevy Cobalt at one time, and I got pulled over twice in 2 days by Clark. It did.
Down in January of 2025 after
my BMW was tinted out like 22% tint, and then the front windshield was like 35%. So like these racist bastards just automatically thought I lived in Clark. That's probably a cool white guy in Clark. Leave him alone.
Facing both corruption and discrimination charges. The state's complaint has been filed in New Jersey Superior Court, the Attorney General saying the motion seeks to stop harassment in the township. It calls for continued monitoring of township leaders and the police
automatically
department,
thought I lived
and
in Clark. That's probably a cool white guy in Clark. Leave him alone.
Tried to do the right thing every step of the way.
I'm trying to mute the damn thing and won't let me mute it.
It was just obstacle after obstacle. His pension was withheld.
Yeah, family, we're just down 15 likes. So whoever just came in just now, take a second out and like the video. Help me get around the shadow ban. Thank you.
For years, shows that all of his hard work and everything he went through was.
He said, closed tea, peace run, breaks up, cough, and phlegm. All right. And I just left. All right. I'll try to get there tomorrow. Man, let me see the weather. I mean, this is crazy, yo. I used to go live with y'all and take my regular night walk. Let me see the weather. It's 5 degrees. And it says it feels like it's 0. Yep. Won't be taking no walk no time soon. This is ridiculous, yeah.
Actually for a purpose.
Now, that attorney was referring to the whistleblower who first let the state know what was happening here in the police department. Late this afternoon, Clark's PBA released a statement blasting the attorney general's decision, saying in part their members were outraged by the backdoor comments made by leaders of their department years ago, that they have committed to fair and transparent policing during this change in oversight, that the officers themselves made the cultural shift not because of lawsuits, but because it was the right thing to do.
Right.
But now we're live here in Clark, New Jersey. Tony Yates.
I can tell you right now, majority of Clark residents are white people. Majority of the police officers, white, and if they're any Latinos, they're white Latino. They're not Afro-Latino, whatever hell that is. They're white Latinos. Okay. And it's a culture. If the culture was, don't allow blacks in Clark, how do you change the culture? So you got to change it, not the policy, not the mayor and the police chief, whatever. You got to figure out a way to change the culture. So I don't know, have some old, to me, black people in Clark. So you can't do like a community thing where black folks do something with the police officers where it's like some type of, ain't no black folks in Clark. So it's like impossible to change the culture. Like they're going to still discriminate. They're still going to racial profile. They're going to see 2 cars tinted, 2 cars unseat belted, 2 cars, 2 drivers are on the phone, 2 motorists on the phone. And if one is black and one is white, one is black and one is Indian, they're going to get the black person. If one is black and one is African with a Nigerian flag, they're going to get the black person. That's how systemic racism work. We are numero uno on their list. All right. So I'm just checking out some stuff. Okay, let's play.
Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, peace and blessings.
Okay, dude, if you don't stop smoking, your lips are ridiculous black. No diggity. All right, so let's get that out of there. So I want to play a clip. All right, so let me share the Sha'Carri Richardson film body cam if you guys missed it. So one more time for the crew who missed it.
You're flashing them to get out of your way, are you?
So anyway, the body cam, he just showing her, this is the police body cam, he just showing her zipping out of traffic. She is going wild on the highway. She's doing 104 in, I think, Florida. So she is definitely wilding. You dig? She's flashing people. She's wilding. Like he showed her flying through traffic. So she's wilding. Now he was kind of slick with the mouth towards her, but that's also kind of expected when you wilding like that. Officers rarely speak nice to you when you're like behaving like this, but I do think he was OD.
I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's.
All right, see that part right there. Now that right there, that's not normal for a police officer to tell somebody to wipe the smile off their face. Now, if her face was frowned and crunched up, he'd be like, "What you mad at?" You dig? So yeah, so that was disrespectful.
I would wipe that smile off your face. I'm Sergeant McDaniels with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You're being stopped for dangerous excessive speeding.
I understand my tire at the back is like literally on 29.
So you're driving at a...
Yes, he said my tire in the back. So I said earlier, family, trust me, you don't want to be too mouthy when a officer pull you over for a traffic violation, because you'll end up incriminating yourself. You'll end up admitting to other violations, and they will tag them on you. I said earlier, I was in Newark. I ran a stop sign. I yielded. I ain't really totally run it like a damn illegal alien. I did like yield through. I cruised. I slowed down and seen I could beat the next car, and I just, yielded through the stop sign. I ain't just like gas it. Just so happened the next car was a police officer. I told him I didn't see him. I got to run a stop sign. Plus, I think, what's the other charge? Reckless driving, something like that he gave me, because I admitted I didn't see him. Now, if I didn't say that, I would have just got a running a stop sign ticket. I said, "Oh, I didn't see you. Oh, you didn't see me? Okay, that's admission of guilt. Okay, that's reckless driving." So he gave me another ticket. So yeah, when you're pulled over, stop. Listen to the traffic violation. Listen to what they're going to say. Okay, and then work out a lie to get out of it, but don't add more tickets. Don't add more traffic violations trying to get out of one lie, and you're giving them other lies that are traffic violations, like she just said. Don't do that.
At 100, hold on. You're driving at 104 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone with subpar equipment, flashing people to get out of your lights, out of your lane, following too close, using every lane to pass everybody, cutting me off, passing a car on the inside shoulder with their hazard lights on. You're going to jail for dangerous excessive speeding.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. My phone, I didn't even know my car was speeding.
That's why they give you a speedometer.
I totally understand. I communicate with you, sir. I really do not want to go to jail.
No, most people don't, but you got to think about that before you do the speed. I need your license, your registration, and your insurance. You were speeding.
Sir, I was, and I totally didn't know. If you look at my phone, my buttons right here, they jump around. My phone is sitting here, and it's slid on here. I literally see it's not even in normal mode, and I see that. My apologies.
She said my phone's here. I'm telling you, the more because your phone should be stable. It shouldn't be just sitting there on the console where it can fall down. The more you admit to, they just write that stuff down.
The mode has nothing to do with your gas pedal.
No,
I need your license, your registration, and your insurance.
Please, sir, I really want to work. Can you really work with me, sir? I promise you, I am a law-abiding citizen. I have my ID, my insurance on my phone. There was no intention of me speeding today. I promise you, sir.
Is this a good address for you, Lake Valley Drive?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm local, sir. Please work with me. I promise you.
I don't know what work with you means.
Not work with me. I understand that. I will take the ticket. I will show the
No,
court.
like I told you, you're going to
Sir,
jail.
Please don't allow me to go to jail. Please, sir. Please.
Listen to me.
Please, sir. I really.
If nothing you say is going to change that. You are going to jail.
Sir, am I going to jail, Jake?
Yes.
Sir, I really was not intentionally speeding at
That's
all.
even more scary. That means that you're doing things unintentionally on a task that requires all your attention.
Sir, please, I'm begging you.
You are going to have a little bit of time to make some phone calls. You are going to jail. I am towing your car.
And family, come on. At some point, we need to have that FBA glow. Like, we got to stop being stupid. We got to know when we're talking to a suspected Klansman card holder, you dig? The begging and stuff. When this guy look at you with pure hatred, he's responding to you with pure hatred. We got to stop the begging shit and just be a mature adult and just hold the goddamn ticket. You going to jail, go ahead, just for a couple hours. You dig? Just an hour of dignity and self-respect is more than just a 5-hour visit in a cell and a $500 fine. Like, come on. At some point, you got to sense, like, this guy is a suspected Klansman card holder. Like, he is like, man, like, come on.
Don't take me to jail. I would do everything.
No.
I would do everything.
You have two options.
Listen. Sir, please.
Listen, you have two options.
Please, sir.
The first option is you can either ride with me in my car.
Damn, that's loud.
The second option is you are going to go to jail in a cage car. Which do you prefer?
I promise you, I don't want to go to jail. I'm right here. I have a team here. I have a coach, everything, sir. I was not intentionally doing anything, and I am.
You're not listening. You're repeating yourself and not listening. Nothing you say is going to change.
So I want
All right, so make some phone calls. Let people know that you're going to have a $500 bond.
Yeah, like all that extra stuff, we got to stop. All that extra begging. All right, so now for you guys who missed this clown, let me go back with this one. Just letting people catch up. And the more people, when people come in significant numbers, like we get like half more people come in, I'm going to run this stuff back just to catch people up.
You got niggas like Tariq Nasheed gaining such a following because he's abusive in his verbiage. He's abusive in his rhetoric, and he's here to divide. And his psychology is that of a pimp. All of his books prior to his Black liberation, Black nationalist, Black power movement, all his books was about being a player and a pickup artist. Basically, he was trying to teach you how to be a pimp. Well, we know the pimp, the pastor pipeline. A lot of niggas jump out the pimp and go straight into the pastor. That's the best thing smoking. But as things change, as cultures change and evolve, well, he just decided to do it in the Pan-African black space and then dropped the Pan-Africanism. Hidden Colors was all about what was going on in Africa. All this acknowledgement of Africa. A film directed by him, produced by him. Extremely Pan-African film. What is the person who has this gift?
He said an extreme Pan-African film. So this is what I'm saying, the advantage of being from the lineage. We don't lie. When we get on white supremacists, we actually tell the truth, and we roast them so hard with the truth, it almost seemed like we're roasting. If you dig, it almost seemed like we're roasting the way we hit them hard with the truth of their racist actions. When it comes to a tether or some hateful, you know, whoever, we will tell the truth so well. And we'll animate the truth, right? We'll express it in, like where it becomes visual so well, it can almost seem like we're just roasting. But it's the truth. We tell truth about tethers. We tell truth about white supremacists. I challenge anybody, they put the link in the chat. What do we say about tethers and white supremacists that's false? That's like pure roasting. And don't mention a roast fest. So if one of us are roasting a tether and they're roasting us, that doesn't count. I'm talking about no tether around and we're just going around just doing the most. Most of what we say about them, if it's in a roasting format, it's because it's in a roasting format. Like they're saying things about us. We're like, for example, like me and Tether knew said, hey man, you know, your civil rights leaders and activists got he said Hidden Colors with a Pan-African film. Yo, dude is wild, yo. So anyway, Tether News said, yeah, your civil rights activist leaders got bit by dogs, ha 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 ha. And then we found out by Tariq Nasheed that these dudes got ate by dogs. We got bit by dogs, but they got ate. They got eaten by dogs. Like, yo, what's worse, getting bit by a dog and eaten by one? You dig? So yeah, so at that point we're roasting. Well, he started it. I followed up. So I got the best of them. Obviously, I'm from the lineage. I can roast better than folks who are not from the lineage. I got the best of them, and you know, that's the way it went. But to sit here and say Hidden Colors is a Pan-African film, that is comical.
Africa. All this acknowledgement of Africa. A film directed by him, produced by him. Extremely Pan-African film. What is the person who has this gift of gab? The pickup artist, the pimp, who has seen a righteous path, but didn't see no money in that. Well, what do you got to do? You got to get back to pimping. But you're going to pimp minds. So what is the advocacy for? What is the abuse that he carries out? Separation versus inclusion. He wants the Black American to separate from global blackness. He wants you isolated here on your own. What do cult leaders do? They say,
I just want
FBA, the foundational Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis, none of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other black people all day. That's divisive as fuck.
Okay. So I just asked AI, summarize the Hidden Color videos, right? Okay. So let's see what AI says. Tariq Nasheed's Hidden Color series 2011 to 2019 is a set of 5 documentary films examining the suppressed history, global contributions, and systemic oppression of people of African and Aboriginal descent. Okay. Tariq Nasheed always talk about global racism. right? I hate when he does that. It's like, hey, man, let them hold their own nuts. Let's just talk about American racism. Like, you know what I mean? You make the burden too large on yourself. But he's known to talk about global racism, global white supremacy, I should say. That's his words. He talks about global white supremacy all the time. This right here, this says global contribution. So it says suppressed history. So all he's doing is revealing the hidden history, the hidden colors. Okay. He's showing, hey, while white supremacy is downplaying Africa and their contributions to the world, well, look what Africa was doing when white supremacy is downplaying who the Australians are and what they did. Well, hear what they were doing. You dig? And people of North Sentinel or whatever, and then the indigenous people. Hey, look what's going on. So he really, that was a good look for people whose history was suppressed by white supremacy. Okay. Nothing here said this is a Pan-African film. It was focused on Africa. It says people of African and Aboriginal descent. So he's unsuppressing the history, just like he did with 1804. Last time I checked, that's Haiti. That's not Africa. So was he a Pan-Haitian? So again, he is revealing some parts of history that's kept hidden. All right. I guess a quick Google AI summarize all of the hidden color videos is what I asked it. And this is the answer. Nothing here talks about Pan-Africanism or Africa. I see Aboriginal right there. Right? Because he talked about the Aztecs and Mayans, but again, they got to lie about us while we tell the truth about them.
You got niggas like
that was done. All right. They lie about us while we tell the truth about them. Dominique said, "You funny, Ron." Yeah, man. It's a fact. Okay, so we're getting more people in the room. You know why? Thanks to you guys, you're unshadow banning me by liking the video. But guess what? We're still 20 likes down. So family, I'm gonna explain it one more time. Well, I'll say I'm gonna do it again later. Most FBA channels are shadow banned. Okay, and the way to get around a shadow ban, you guys gotta like the video. Like in the video, puts our videos in our subscriptions live YouTube suggestion feed. That's how you guys see me live just now. Okay. So like the video so it can go to the next person live feed as a suggestion, and they could click it and tap in with the family. You dig? Anyway. Okay. So we're gonna talk about some deep stuff here. You dig? Some stuff I put together. If y'all don't mind. Okay. Now, when we talk about African or Africa that sold us, right? Africans sold us. They would say, "Oh, that's unfair. You can't say Africa. You got to speak to the Pacific. You got to speak to the specific tribe. Oh, that's unscholarly." Oh, they start whining and crying, right? So when we talk about Africa selling us, we got to be specific. We got to leave the name Africa out of it and just talk about the specific tribes, kingdoms, and chiefs. But these guys are allowed to say to call us African, and don't specify the tribes, countries, or chiefs. So I'm like, how that work? How we can't use Africa as a blanket term or label for those who kidnapped us and enslaved us and sold us, but you're allowed to use Africa as a blanket statement or blanket label to identify us. That's interesting. Okay, so Jesse Jackson. Messy Jesse Jackson. So family, if you're unaware, let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. So you see, it says exonym. So a demonym, an example of demonym is American. When we say we're American, that's a demonym because the actual term that we're supposed to say is that we're the United States of American. So instead of saying all that, a shortcut way to say I'm the United States of American, right? You would just say we're American. That's called a demonym. So I want you guys to get familiar with an exonym is and an endonym, because I use these words a lot. Okay. An endonym is a name for a place used by its own people, e.g., Dutchland for Germany. Okay. So black, BLACK, that is an endonym that we chose by our own people in the 1960s during the Black Power movement, the Black Civil Rights movement. You dig? Now, an exonym is a name used by outsiders, e.g., for Dutchland. Exonyms often arise due to historical contact, different linguistic sounds, or to make names more familiar or pronounceable for foreign speakers, creating distinct names for the same location like English, Cologne, whatever. So an example of an exonym will be, let's go down. Let's go further. Endonym, the name used by locals for their own country, region, or people, family. We have the right to name ourselves. And when we name ourselves, it's called an endonym. This is the name the people give themselves. The grassroots speaks. Etymology from Greek endo, in, and onomo, name, in name. Examples that for Japan, well, whatever. Exonym, a name for a place or people used by foreigners different from the local name. From Greek exo, out, and onomo, name. Out name, in name. Exonym is out name, endonym is in name. So an example of an exonym is colored or Negro. An outsider called this colored and Negro. That is an out name. That's a name given to us by outsiders. When you name yourself, that's a name given by the insiders. So Tariq Nasheed was correct when he said white people want, or oppressors want to name you things. They don't want you to name yourself because that's power. That's empowerment when you name yourself. Okay. So key differences and reasons for exonyms. Endonyms are self-given. Exonyms are given by others. Okay. Pronunciation exonyms can simply simplify difficult to pronounce endonyms. Okay. That can be a fair way. History, politics, exonyms can reflect historical perceptions or foreign perspectives, though sometimes endonyms evolve from exonyms like some stand countries, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, whatever usage. While endonyms are authentic, exonyms often serve for international recognition and clarity and global communication. So exonym, out name, outsiders, endonym, end names. Okay. We named ourselves. Outsiders didn't name us black. Outsiders named as negro and colored. Okay. Negro. Exonym. COLOR. Okay. ED. Or, exonym. So they don't want us to be empowered. So now we have tethers who don't want us to be empowered to name ourselves. Dessalini in 1804, he gave Haiti an exonym, an end name. He said, for now on, we're called Haitians. That's an endonym. They named themselves. Prior to that, they had exonyms. The French were naming them. Brazilians today have taken our exonyms, out names. How about the Sudanese people? Family, Sudanese is an exonym. Arabs call them. Before that name, they were called Cushites and Nubians. Arabs, colonizers said those are the land of the blacks. And when they say blacks, they're saying colored. Okay, colored. Who is Fee Fi Fo Fum? Who is joining me? Okay, so they said Bilal al Sudan. They said the hell with what you call yourself. The hell with Cushites, Nubians, whatever else. You guys are Bilal al Sudan, land of the blacks. And they took on that name over Nubians and Cushites. They took on the exonym name, and they're called Sudanese to this day. We didn't do that. We named ourselves, and that was a big problem. For 30 years, we took on the exonym black. In 1970, it was federally recognized in OMB. The OMB is the Office and Management, I think, for Budget. And what they do is that's a federal census that just collects data. So we called ourselves black in 1960. OMB jotted it down, put it on forms. 1970. 30 years later, Jesse Jackson comes and out of nowhere say, you know what? We're going to call you guys African American. Okay. Disrespecting the legacy of black. Under black, we had people who bought their freedom or gained their freedom during slavery, during chattel slavery. You had black people who gained their freedom. And as a result, they were called free blacks. They were not called free African Americans. They were not called free Africans or free anything else. They were called free blacks. Okay. And then, obviously, when slavery was abolished, we became descendants of freedmen. Right. We still took on the exonyms of our enslavers. We took on colored and Negro for a while. Then we got out of that and said we're black. Right. We named ourselves for the first time during the Black Power movement. Prior to that, we were taking our exonyms by our enslavers. Just a fact. Okay. Now, under blackness, what happened? Black Reconstruction, free blacks, Black Wall Street, black banks. AJ Gaston. Who's AJ Gaston? Oh my God, man. Hey, he is known as the Black. AJ Gaston is known as the Black Titan. I think he's from Alabama. He's not known. Tariq Nasheed once in a while speaks on him. He's not known as the. I had his book. He's not known as the African American Titan. He's known as the Black Titan. Okay. So here we go. One second, 42. Let me just introduce AJ Gaston because I keep bringing his name up. So born July 4th, 1892. Yep, Alabama. Demopolis, Alabama. He lived to 103 years old. He died in Birmingham, Alabama. Author Greg Gaston was an American entrepreneur who established businesses in Birmingham, Alabama. He had a significant role in the movement to remove legal barriers to integration in Birmingham in 1963. Yeah, so he actually funded a lot of civil rights activists, and he also bailed them out when they got locked up. He also had a business where he was teaching Black Americans business, right? You know how we say right now, hey, you learn this in school, that in school, you don't learn business. Well, he was teaching business. He was teaching LLCs, all that type of stuff, S Corp, C Corp, all that type of stuff, teaching business. That's what he did. Okay. He was, I want you to read, I want you to read. Okay, here we go. Who was a Black billionaire? Let me see, that's him. Okay, so author George Gaston was a prominent African-American, which you know, FBA, businessman and philanthropist, born on July 4th, 1892 in Alabama, growing up in a challenging environment after the death of his father. Gaston was raised by his mom and grandparents, former slaves, and he began contributing to the family income at a young age. So I think he was the richest black man at that time. I want to see it. Let me see. Let's see. Shit. Can I spell? The Here we go. Yes. A.G. Gasson, 1996, was widely considered the richest black man in America during the 1960s, with a business empire in Alabama spanning insurance, banking, real estate, and media. He was named Entrepreneur of the Century by Black Enterprise magazine, not African American magazine, and amassed a fortune estimated a 30 to 40 million during his peak, which grew over to 130 million by the time of his passing. Okay, so we're talking about 30, 40 million, what, 1940s, 50s, 60s? Okay, yeah. So over here, you learn about real things, real people, and real time. This is a name that's never mentioned. Richest black man of the 1960s in America, and we know nothing about this guy. But in this channel, we get some straightening. Hey, Peace 42.
Hey, I'm unmuted. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I didn't even. I thought I was still muted. Yeah. Thankful for your channel because it's I'm glad to see at least one non-denominational lineage channel. So I don't know if there are any else. I'm kinda, I guess, but I don't really. I bounce on and off so much. It hasn't really built. And even when I did a video about Norm Finkelstein. It got like 1,200 views, 1,100, something like that. But it was real fast, and I didn't show it. But with just the way I do things, because it's never been I've never really made money on it. I didn't even follow up, and I wanted to say something about it too. Like I wanted to go in, but I didn't even chase after that. I was like, it's kind of on the back burner. I want to get back on Norm Finkelstein, but in ways that I think are kind of relevant to reparations, because that's what I was criticizing him about. Is I think he played himself on reparations.
So explain who he is and his take on reparations.
He's kind of an anti-Zionist, and he's a Jewish dude, and so I'm with him with anti-Zionism, but you know how that goes. So you can kind of guess how that goes. Like then you turn around and it's like you don't know the solution when it comes to Palestinians because you're not fighting for reparations in your own country, and that's what the video was about. I was criticizing him about that. Is he's kind of tone deaf to a solution. So he's fighting the perpetual battle like BLM and racism. You know, it's like you're fighting like a firefighter. You gotta keep your job. So that was just my take, because I think anybody in the U.S., which is like the reparations capital of the world for other people, that's against it for the people that face the worst shit, and I got problems with that. But yeah, there's more to him. But he also, like, another trait that he has when it comes to like recognizing white racists is, do they keep Sambo? And the moment Candace Owens just started saying anything about how she didn't want Palestinian babies to die, notice how all of a sudden everybody was cool with her. Like, she's a rich anti-black racist, practicing anti-black racist, something they agree with and they're cool with. They were starting to do that with Coleman Cruz Hughes, and he was just making the same anti-woke stuff comments that Obama was making. You remember that? I don't know. Has Tariq said anything about how Obama was like one of the pioneers when it came to anti-woke?
I'm not sure, but I do know
Right.
anti-woke is pretty like even the wokeness movement was vague and ambiguous because in that movement you had a lot of facts in there, you had a lot of bullshit in there. Like, cause so anybody they were saying anything, like for example, wokeness could be driving without a license, get pulled over and say, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Like that was part of wokeness. Wokeness was also, I'm a sovereign citizen. You know, I mean, all this craziness. I'm a squatter. This is my mansion now. This is my home now. No. So there was a lot of that under the banner of wokeness. So it got, and then saying we're Egyptian. Oh, we're Egyptian. Like that was under the banner of wokeness. And a lot of Pan-African bullshit was under that banner too. So the wokeness hashtag, I really didn't like it because it really incorporated all type of crazy thoughts under like black, intelligente or whatever, intelligence. Yes, I never liked that anyway. I'm glad that went away because there was no specificity what's actually woke, what is counted as woke. Right now, where we
There was a
debate
lot of
these,
white and I said so.
right? And right now, we debate what we debate now. What
Yeah.
Tether saying, oh no, Africa, yeah, that's considered woke. You're African, and that's considered their awaken us from our sleep. So I don't really mind, but I get what you're saying. Like they use it as like a racial attack for like foundation Black Americans indiscriminately.
To
But
me,
like
with
low,
Obama, I got like what do you call it? Respectability politics vibes. It's just he was doing it so early. Like he was doing it before all the channels were complaining about Cleopatra, stuff like that.
okay,
Like, he was doing it, I think, as long as 6 years ago. It was response to like George Floyd protests, something like that. But yeah, it was like 6 years ago. But yeah, I agree. I mean, if you throw it at everything, and it's thrown at everything, because my next video might be just talking about how it's going to get thrown at Zendaya and Travis Scott because of the Odyssey. And I'm like, the Odyssey is 1200 BC. I can show you 1700 BC Black Greeks by pigment gene. You can say what you want. They're probably ethnically closer to Greeks. And I'm not saying like I'm just saying dark skin as if I'll take it and I won't be as dark as them. You probably wouldn't be as dark as them Greeks. And it was like Southern Greeks and islands. So I it's stuff like that. I need to compile it and put a book out. Like I've got 5 pages, so it's not even
yeah,
close. But it'll come fast because there's just so much. Like this world is insane right now. And then you got, you call him Teddy Ruxpin. I call him Doll the Weaver of Straw. He was just non-stop. Like I'm gonna ask him to just pause the straw man and take us all literally for about 3 weeks and see and see if you have a head change. It just treat it like the movie Liar Liar, where you just can't. Like you have to resist the urge, but I know you can't do it. Man.
right. And, they charge us. We're always talking about them. It's like, are you out your mind? Yeah, you know how many videos I can show you? And look, I had to cook on somebody who charged me with that. I showed this dude 20 up or 30 uploads in a row. Had nothing to do with a tether at all. Like he looked this so dumb charging me with that claim. Don't really come here often. Man, I went to my little video upload. I said, okay, show me a tether video amongst these 20, 30 uploads. It was straight crickets. Yo, we can talk about our glorious history lineage for the whole year without mentioning one tether. And still get the same love, still get the same views and everything. These guys would fall off the earth if they couldn't talk about us.
And another thing they were lying about recently, and this went across the pond, just so to speak, because I remember a video, and this was the day I Show Speed went to Africa. And in this video, so he hadn't reported back, but Tariq is just brotherly love with somebody on the continent. And this isn't this is kind of typical him. He's usually cool with people on the continent, especially with some battles that they do on X. But very brotherly. I would say more brotherly than what we typically get when it's something like Kyrie, Irvin, with the whole sharing the movie. And I'm like, one of my issues with that is it just didn't really seem brotherly, regardless who it was coming from. Like you share a nation with this dude, it's on the stream site. if it's really that bad,
and who's that? What's the thing with Kyrie? I kind of missed that. What was it again?
Kyrie Irving, when he shared that Hebrew Israelite video that
yeah. And what that got to do with Tariq? I'm trying to tie it.
Yeah, it's just because Tariq and I put a clip. My last video is showing that how brotherly Tariq is with Africans who are cool, and it's a big difference from just like the ordinary Joe in Africa to somebody who just comes here and it's like they graduated from Sambo school.
Hey, bro, it's called energy, right? We kind of mirror the energy, the average FBA. We go out to a restaurant, we go to a chicken shack or whatever, DMV, we're in line, somebody's cutting through, or we hold the door open. It's just the same energy. It don't matter if they non-FBA. If they're polite, cordial and respectful, we typically give that energy back to whoever. It could be straight Klansmen, right? If they over here being cordial for whatever reason, we kind of give the energy back. So that's just who we are as a people. Like,
and some Africans will let you know exactly what you just said. Like some of them that come here and they've been here long enough to where if they had any Samboan designs, it didn't fall through, and they had to get with us, and they kind of learn. But yeah, there's some videos out there right now that's in the algorithm that are just Africans saying, "Hey, these people, I get like they have a dominant culture. What are we talking about? They're the coolest people, and just like you said, same energy."
All right, but here's the thing. The thing is this: they're not as loud as their tether class. Just like, so I gotta give you the white American analogy. You have white people during Jim Crow. No, black folks aren't lazy. Okay, standing out there getting ass kicked for us too. The problem is they're not loud enough. They're not as loud as their racist class. So when your voice ain't as loud as your racist class, you really don't have a voice at all. That's like the coffee theory, right? The analogy that Malcolm X gave, the coffee analogy. When you keep pouring milk in there, it's not coffee no more. So the milk is the tether class. The milk is the white supremacy class. When they keep pouring that into the coffee, you no longer got coffee. You got ice cream. You got a ice cream sundae at some point, a milkshake. So what we're asking is we believe that the tether class is smaller in numbers than the non-tether class of Africa and the Caribbean. So if that's true, then that should be easily, so the voices should be easily louder than that small class, unless our theory is wrong, unless most of them are tethers and only a saved few are riders, and that would be a problem. But we need their voice. I know in Black American culture, when we defend another people, we're loud as hell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, regardless of what the aggregate is, the people who are promoted are definitely the ones that are toxic. Because you can just name so many.
Who's promoting
Obama, Candace Owens, Daniels. What is he going to be, mayor?
Yeah, but though, okay. So who promoted academics?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Who promoted Casanat? Yeah, so they promote themselves, man.
Oh yeah, I definitely, when I say in aggregate,
Yeah, because who promoted Frank Zanou? This guy came out of nowhere.
I'm pretty sure somebody. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it, but when you look at some of the money behind people, like with somebody like McWhorter, and I think he's Black American. Might not be, I don't know, but you can find the money behind them, the Heritage Foundation, and I'll tell you somebody who I don't know, like I think he could be either way, is Coleman Cruz Hughes, but that money goes to Barry Weiss. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's I would say it's disproportionate in the sense that when they're promoted heavy. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
there's
let me,
people, especially I would say, like you mentioned with
all
the
right. So
Jamaicans and
let me
Caribbean.
take you back 400 years. When they were slave raiding, okay, popping their collar and decided to trade off 12 to 15 million of us, who was promoting them then? So see, when we dig back further enough, we see that there was nobody promoting them. This was just always in them, some of them.
Oh yeah, I have zero pushback. The only thing I would say is I would want more reparations polls data because that's the only time where I'm like, oh, okay, I think the majority of them are cool.
The
But
majority of who?
it cool as far as like the majority of Black immigrants when you ask them about reparations. That's but it's I'm going by one poll. It's not much data on there.
Yeah, no. You talking about the Caribbean or African immigrants?
I think they combine them both in one poll that I'm thinking of. But
Okay.
like I said, I only know one. Now meeting people, I would think it would be more thumbs up. But like you said, there was a lot of people. Like even with Myron was promoted through mostly Black Americans.
No, you're right. And academics too, but hold on. And academics too. But let me say this. And Casa not. But let me say this.
Yeah.
So if most of them support reparations, then where is the support when we're fighting for it?
Bingo. I'm glad you got to that. I would think it's unless it's just a trollish nature, like people get on social media and they are putting it out there. I don't know because, like I said, one poll.
Yeah, but they should be in my chat right.
That's
But they
reasonable.
should be in my chat right now, posting up Nigerian flags and Kenyan flags and Ghanaian flags right now. Like they should be in the chat, like, "Hey, we rock with you, FBAs." You know,
I'm
like,
thinking the political junkie is a dummy too. Like they're easy to propagandize. So the one if there is an aggregate amount that's pro reparations, it's people who are offline mostly. And maybe we're hit with a poll, and that's the thing. It's difficult to really count them.
See, but what's the point then? See, because the whole point for them coming over was to add to our community and help us out politically the same way these white Eastern and Southern Europeans were assimilated into white America eventually to add to their political ideologies, philosophies.
Because I see the media as a fourth branch of government, and if that's what they're putting out in the media, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, there we go with the brother. Listen, man, this sounds like a lot of explaining excuses.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, yeah, you're right. If
let me say this.
Media, regardless of what might be there as far as the data that isn't tested, then
hey, bro, let me say this. You might have legitimate, bona fide reasons why you can't make it to work 5, 7, 20 days in a row. Okay. Your employer, if you have a business, your clients, your customers, your clientele, at some point just care about the bottom line. You weren't there to deliver. Okay. And they like, goodbye. So for us in 2026, the way we're delineating, it's just the bottom line. Like we don't even want to know the in between. Are you with us or you're not? And if you're with us, we need to see you. We need to hear you. And if you're not heard or seen, you're not there. We don't give a damn if you're kidnapped in the basement. It's just the bottom line. Okay. For us, like, I don't care about the excuses. I don't want to hear no government. I don't want to hear no propaganda, no media, no, none of that stuff. The colonizer, the government, none of that. Like, it's the bottom line is, are you there or you're not?
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely say they let the trolls be the face online.
Then guess what? Then
And
that's their representative.
add some craziness at reparations hearings too.
Yeah, they be out there acting a fool. Yeah, but that's just for me. Like, that's just when I'm looking at it. It's just the bottom line. Like, where are you? Are you visible? Are you heard or not? And like I said, I'm live right now. I'm live right now. I should see 3, 4, 5, 10 African flags in the chat. I should see 3, 4, 5, 10 island flags in the chat. We never see them.
But that's what I mean, propagandize, because they're getting it now, and this is what I mean by a new signal across the pond is people like FD signifying Little Bill. You know what I'm saying?
What was that? Your audio ain't the best. What was that?
Now I'd say like they come off as easy to propagandize.
Yeah, that's not how. Well, if you're that easy to get it, then we can't link up with you. You know, we definitely can't, because think about it. When they want to co-intel our spaces, right, and our groups and movements, they usually find the weakest people, and they co-opt them, they infiltrate them, they send them out, and they do just that. So like we need people that's thorough, on code, unwithering, uncompromising, you feel me, on all 10, life or death. That's where we're at. And if you could be compromised, you're vulnerable, stay out the way.
Yeah, I think what I was saying that might have got missed is
yeah, it sounds like explaining.
I think they're getting at a lot of it from Little Bill and like recently it's been other people and FD Signifier, but he's kind of gone way back. But a lot of people are talking at the same time like they got memos. And that's where the propaganda is coming from.
Okay.
But yeah, to me, they're not. You're right. Like they've let the face be divisive. Because yeah, it should be people saying the same thing. But I did see some pushback with what Lil Bill was saying. Like if you look at his channel,
who's Little Bill?
He's he's kind of like a respin of FD Signify or FD Signify.
I don't even know who that is. Who are these guys?
These are people I think maybe of the lineage, and they're on the whole thing with that, like that Tariq went to Africa to copy ISO speed, and they're just lying on Tariq. I mean, I got my issues with Tariq, but if you're lying on somebody, I'm gonna defend you. You know, like I'm gonna defend them.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's been their thing lately, and that
okay.
Just
So
like a DNC memo.
okay, so let's go with that. Let's say let's go with that. Let's go with that. Let's say Tariq Nasheed is chasing the clout that ISO speed left behind. Now what? So one individual of the lineage went out to Africa to capitalize on the little clout that's left. Now what? What does that mean? We're no longer delineating.
I mean, if
We're back to African Americans.
Like, with this dude, Lil Bill, I should send a link.
Nah, I'm good. Like
he's
been
basically arguing with himself because he's probably FBA.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He has this.
No, but I was saying a hypothetical. I said, what if Tariq Nasheed? So now I'm just playing devil's advocate. What if Tariq Nasheed is capitalizing on the clout that's left behind from the ISO speed appearance? Now what?
Well, in the straw man, and I'll answer that. What they're throwing out there is that it's part of his pimp game.
Okay. It's part of his. Oh no, look. Yeah, no, bro. Listen. But I'm rolling with you, dude. I'm rolling with you. I'm saying it's part of his pimp game. This one guy got the pimp game. Now what? What that got to do with unbiased Ron?
Oh, because unbiased Ron is part of the FBA code. Like that's you've heard this shit.
Okay, dude. Okay.
And that pit game is too strong. So yeah, that's like if I play it around, that's where it is. Like it's that bad. That's why I say he's basically created an effigy, and he's arguing with himself.
Okay, so I'm part of the cult. Who's my leader? Tariq.
Yep. Even though if Tariq was this is where I got to step out of it in a second. Tariq says he's not a leader, so if we were loyal to him,
let's go with that. Let's go with that.
It's crazy.
All right, now let's go with this narrative. So he's a leader. I'm part of the cult. What? Okay, he went to Africa. I'm never going to Africa. So he did a horrible job as a cult leader to influence me to go to Africa. Okay, Tariq Nasheed calls tethers black. You even did it. You said black immigrants. I don't call nobody black outside the Foundation of Black Americans. So Tariq did a horrible job influencing me that foreign Africans and Caribbean people could be black. I say that's impossible. So he did a horrible job of influencing me. So the influence of this cult leader is not rubbing off on his cult members.
At that point, yeah, their stupidity fills in the gaps and their ignorance. The vibe I get with Lil Bill, since he's throwing.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. I'm saying I'm going with the aura, like the propaganda is being put out there. I'm saying this one individual, right. So there's one individual is doing these things, and he's the cult leader of a cult that people put me in. But most of Tariq antics and what he does or his arguments are totally different from mine. We argue differently. He does a lot of roasting. I don't roast at all, barely. He asks people where they from. I hardly ask people where they from. So we do kind of everything opposite as far as our approach when we deal with the trolls of the lineage. So it looks like the cult leader influence is not so influential. I say we're FBA ADOS, descendants of freedmen. Tariq says we're FBA descendants of freedmen. He leaves out ADOS. I say ADOS. So, and I'm sure he probably wouldn't appreciate that. So, unbiased Ron is what type of cult member would I be if I'm going against the cult leader?
It's just the idea that you have to straw man up the definition. You have to change the definition.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, that's nothing. Right. I'm gonna get back to what I'm doing. I got some stuff to read off before it get too late. Yeah, that ain't going nowhere. Yeah, so somebody focus on this grown man, and then they're mad at him, and all of a sudden everybody bro. What's the difference? What's the difference? Let me ask you this: what's the difference from FBA and BA?
FBA
Black American and Foundation Black American. What's the difference?
ADOS is the same thing. Yeah, like
it's different. Yeah,
that's the difference in the definition. Is BA is a choice.
A what?
It's a choice because a lot of them like, yo, I'm black. I'm not black. So yeah, BA is a choice, and it does. And whereas
So let me explain the
lets you
difference.
know,
Let me explain the
lets you
difference.
know what it is. Like it
I
lets you
got
know
you.
who they are.
Let me explain the difference. Black American and African American, these terms, they serve a dual usage since 1997, thanks to Jesse Jackson, which I'm picking off where I left off at. They serve a dual usage. They cover, I just explained what an ethnonym was. Were you able to see that?
I saw it, but I didn't hear it.
Okay.
Like,
Endonym is a type of ethnonym. Exonym is a type of ethnonym, right? So Sudanese people, that's an exonym. Exo means outside. Nim means name. So outsiders named them Sudanese. They were Cushites and Nubians before then. Arabs called them Bilal al Sudan. So they were named by outsiders from a derogatory perspective and definition. All right. That's an ethnonym by way of that's an ethnonym by way of exonym. Black in 1960 was defined by the people. That's called an endonym. That's an end name by the people themselves. Okay, so black has become an endonym, ethnonym by way of endonym. Okay, Jesse Jackson introduced, and that's how it's been for 30 years until Jesse Jackson introduced African American and had those same DNC people and the same Jewish people, Finkelstein guy, had those people back up African American. And it had little to no pushback, by the way. Black had pushback. FBA ADOS got pushed back. When African American was introduced, white society took that hook, line, sinker and pushed it through the newspapers, media, everything. All right. So in 1997, the OMB adopted it and federally recognized it as an ethnonym and a race. So ethnonym means that it speaks specifically to those who have the lineage of U.S. chattel slavery. But it also speaks to every immigrant that comes into the country that has African descent. So that's what I mean by it serves a dual uses. So the difference between Black American and foundational Black American does not have a dual usage. It just speaks to the lineage from U.S. chattel slavery. There's no coverage of everybody that's African descent. It speaks to a specific ethnic group. So the F is important because now we're just speaking to one group all the time, every time. Without the F, you speaking to the ethnonym or the ethnic group or a random guy from Nigeria. So it's not a cult. It's a specific term speaking to a specific people. Adolf, same thing. Descendants of freedmen, same thing. And this is why when I have guys pull up and let's talk about it, they usually go quiet. Okay, because I know they're not ready to have these conversations. They don't even know that African American is a dual usage word. And this is why I am who I am, they are who they are. Okay. Yeah. So there's no way to seriously explain how we're cult members when I just broke down FBA. It's an ethnonym by way of endonym. We have the right to name ourselves. The federal government does not name us. It lets everybody name themselves. We're Black. We became African American by forge. We rejected it, and we're taking Black back, and we're repoing it from other people that's called Black. That's from foreign nations, and we're saying we're foundational to end the confusion. See, we just can't say we're Black American because that word still have a stench of dual usage. So we got to say foundational and ADOS and different things like that, where we're exclusively talking about the lineage. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and one thing I also mention a lot to people is if you're going to put your best foot forward in terms of reparations, you need to disaggregate. You have, like you said before, you got to delineate before you disaggregate. If you're going to put your best foot forward, you don't want to lump everybody together. You have Elon lumped with refugee Somali, and then you have a lot of times people are doing really well that come from like we get a lot of Nigerians that are doing well. It seems like we get a lot of English, like Black English. And they're usually, just because they're coming from England, they're more likely to see themselves as black than,
Wait,
somebody from the Congo. That's
the
why I
people
said, like,
where?
it's a choice.
The people where? The people where?
The
In
Congo.
UK?
Yeah, I said somebody from the UK.
Okay, so now, so let me explain that.
You're more likely
No.
to say, I'm black.
Right, no, let me,
Congo.
yeah, okay, let me explain that. The UK people know exactly what tribe they come from in Africa and where in Africa. They know they're West African, they know they're Nigerian, they know they're Igbo, Fulani, or whatever, Asante. They know exactly where they come from. They took on the term black as an adjective. It's to describe what type of Brit they are. Okay, but underneath that, they're just a West African Nigerian of a particular African tribe. So they took on an adjective. When we use black in America, we use it as a proper noun. B is, by the way, B in America is capitalized. It's received as a proper noun. So it's not a regular noun, it's a proper noun. All proper nouns demand a capitalized letter, first letter. They use black Brit, black. They use they use black Brit, black Scottish as a descriptor. They're describing their skin color. Prince is FBA. He's not black like to describe his skin tone.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I'm thinking, like, wouldn't somebody like thinking of some light skinned Brit, maybe like Anthony Joshua, they'd still go by black. But he's
okay. Wait. Are you not? Wait. Okay. Now listen. I'm listening to you, right? And I'm responding to exactly what you're saying. I'm talking back to you, and you're like skipping past what I'm saying. Okay. So now, what did I just say about the proper noun thing just now? Do you recall?
You said it's a capital.
Yeah, but what about it that's different from what they call themselves in UK?
From the UK, it's you said it was descriptive.
Okay. What's the difference between an adjective and a noun, a proper noun?
Yeah, one is descriptive and the other one is a thing.
Yeah, one is a person and one is describing a person, right?
Yeah.
Ain't that a big difference between a car and?
But that's not, like, otherwise Anthony Joshua would say he was brown.
Yeah, but even
it might be a different dynamic in
okay, hold on.
Like,
I mean, I don't. All right, bro. One more time, and I'm gonna continue my show. Even if they call themselves brown, yellow, red, my guy, they're describing themselves by a color. When we say we're black, we're not describing ourselves based on any color, my guy. We're identifying, we're defining our black, the ethnogenesis that we went through over here. When we say black, we're going from chattel slavery to 2026, my guy. So we're the people of chattel slavery 2026. That's why it's a proper noun. We're the people of that experience. These guys, and it's our only name. We don't have a real tribal name or real nationality above that. I just said they recently called themselves Black Brits. That's recent. They're known as Nigerian and a tribe. That's their ethnonym. Black Brit is their nickname. That's their replacement hold. That's something that they call themselves secondary, third, whatever, fourth. That's not their ethnic. That's not their ethnonym. That's not their ethnicity name. That's some nickname they took on. They took that shit on in like the 2010s, 15. These are recent immigrants. Do you know that these guys are they're either immigrants themselves or they're like first gen after their dad. They just got there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Our culture starts to blend up.
Okay. Yeah. So even when they say they're black, we're black differently. They're black by a color descriptor. They're describing their color. And we're describing our experience in America. We're describing our accomplishments and our suffering in America when we say we're black.
Do you think that changes, like you said, recently, like last 10 years, people are just adopting it? Because I've seen people that I wouldn't expect adopted from the same group that don't want it at all. I
just played a video of a debate with people debating black over African American in 1989. The same year Jesse Jackson introduced African American, there was widespread uproar by Black Americans saying we're not African, and it caused debates. And they were defining Black in 1989 as an experience. What are you talking about? It's not recent.
No, I'm talking recent because I've met a Somali that would rather be Black than African American.
Yeah, but he's not Black in the sense where we use Black. Okay, you keep saying Black, I keep saying Black, I keep saying they're Black.
No,
definition is different than
no,
ours.
I'm using it in mostly two different ways. How they see it and like the poll, where the poll was like.
So how do they see Black when they say they're Black? How does first of all, Somalis don't say that. Somalis say they're not Black, by the way. Those East Africans,
like in the media, but I'm saying
no. Okay, yeah, over here, right?
Word.
Do they say do they say they're Black in Somalia?
No.
Okay, so what the hell are you talking about? You can't just imagine. Yeah, exactly.
No.
Okay, exactly. So when they come up, they're Somalian in Somalia. They're Somalian in Somalia, and they bring their musty ass over here. And when they bring their musty ass over here, they're Somalian over here. They're not Black magically. That's not how that works.
It's they'll get arrested or something, and they'll be Black. like
but that's why. Yeah, but that's why we're delineating. We're not allowing that to happen. The whole point of delineating is saying, you're not Black. We're saying you're not Black. You're Somalian. You came over as Somalian refugees, evacuees, asylees, and you still that. When ICE come pick you up, you're still a Somalian. When ICE come looking for them, they don't say, when they start scamming, they don't say, the Black people of Minnesota scamming. No, the Somalians. So no, we're not gonna let you muddy up Black no more. That's out. And that's why the media is calling them Somalian. They're calling them Nigerian. The media stopped calling them Black.
I'm the choir. That's what I mean. Like you convinced me that it's their responsibility to put a better face, even if there is some aggregate numbers. Let me see some more polls and maybe I'll change. But
hey, bro, to be honest, it's 43 million of us. There's about 1 million of them or so, bro. That's not enough to move a needle for us. Okay, 43 million, 46 million, 47 million ain't gonna change much. Okay, that won't change much. So so we don't need them for nothing. Like they're not that numerous to affect what we're doing now. Latinos are 60 to 70 million deep. Now 40 million to 110 million. Yeah, that's a big difference. That's more than half. Okay, yeah, that's going to move a needle more than what we can do with it.
Have you heard that if everyone's disaggregated, then we're the second largest ethnicity? Have you heard any?
Yeah. Because the Latinos are lumped up. Yeah, they're lumped up as one thing, but they're really South American from different countries, Central Americans, and all type of shit. Yeah, they're lumped up as one. Yeah.
Because I remember that was something that nobody really got on that Zanu dude for, because when he started naming the different ethnicities in South Africa, he didn't just jump all the way from the top one to nobody else matters. But when it was Black Americans of the lineage, and you got people saying FBA there, he knows what it is. He says I didn't know I was coming to a Black man's country. So that was just one thing I wanted to say, because that bothered me and nobody really brought that up.
Yeah, now
we don't care. All the Zosa and
bro,
he knew all that for South America.
Bro, we don't care. We don't care, man. We don't think about them. They talk about us. We check them. We flex when we need to, because we're not tolerating no defamation at all. We're representing bad Black anti-defamation, and we're calling it out as soon as we see it. Okay, we're going to be as sensitive as the Jewish nation with the ADL. Okay, anything remotely smells like anti-Semitism, they're on it. Even though it's not, they're still on it and treating it like it is. And then you got to prove yourself innocent after you're already charged and convicted. We're doing the same thing with black. Okay, we're not letting nobody sniff, joke, nothing. We're charging, convicting. They could work out the innocence later and go, what's that little what's that sentencing what's that sentencing thing? The sentencing act? Yeah, they could reach them. Like once we charge and convict them and they end up being innocent of Foundation Black American defamation, or defamation, not anti, but defamation, they can go to the sentencing act and say, hey, we're actually innocent. We didn't mean it that way. And they could do it that way. But yeah, we're protecting blackness. We're sensitive and we're responding to all hate. Nobody's going to slide. And nothing's going to slide. So it don't matter if that's why we call them cats. Cats are acronym for coons and tethers. So these cats ain't gonna slide. Don't matter if you FBA coon or a tether. If you're out here disrespecting, we're gonna check you. But what we don't care for, we don't really care for the dude Deontay, whatever his name, Kyle, his little antics. We don't, that's light. That ain't nothing. We're talking about more serious talking points that's defaming the lineage that might leave a stain or a stench. Yeah, we don't care about one guy, YouTube channel. He just trolling.
Do you know where you would recognize FD signifier? I just thought about that.
Listen, man. No, listen, dude. I don't care about them. Stop mentioning them on my channel.
I was just gonna say because you did talk about somebody he was with.
I got you. But hey, bro, what I'm saying is,
James, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you, bro. Let me continue the show. Thank you.
Sorry.
We'll talk later. Okay. Like he keep trying to promote these guys and like low key argue for them. Instead of just directly debating me, he's like debating through them. Still got cooked, so it don't matter. Revenue not tonight. It's already late. I'm gonna be off in like another 30 minutes, and I want to finish my reading. So it's about 50 million, Marv. Peace, Chad Smith, SLE 44. Yeah, not be able to say black is killing them. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, man, I'm not trying to learn who these guys are. I don't care. I don't care about the latest troll. All right, anyway, so let me get back to what I was saying about Jesse Jackson. Okay. So before Jesse Jackson introduced African American, we use black as a proper noun endonym. Okay. However, in the late 1980s, like 88, 89, Jesse Jackson argued that black was a color. So he undermined the way we were using black and, minimize it to just a color, an adjective. And he's going to introduce African American as the ethnic heritage. Okay. That gives us a land base and all this bullshit with, and then he compared that to Italian American. It's like, yeah, how come our leader? Yeah, but again, he had a lot of powerful agencies behind him. So I'm sure we did speak out. I showed the debate round tables. We resented that. We debated it, and it was brand new, right? It was brand new. Oh, FBA is brand new. Okay. African American is brand new, and it was rejected by many Black Americans. Okay, I showed you the roundtable discussions, the debates, in 1989 and afterwards. So he misrepresented black and tried to minimize it as just a color, an adjective, and African American is the real ethnic term, the ethnic heritage, just like Italian American. Yeah, but what about white American? Like, so what about those Italian Americans? They became white, Jesse Jackson. Those Italian Americans just became plainly white people, white men, white women, white families. Okay, they were no longer seen as Italian in like the 1960s. They were seen as white people. So that ain't make any sense. The only people who call themselves Italian American were recent Italians, like street foreigners. Okay. So we know that African American is actually an exonym. It's given by others. We didn't call ourselves that. Jesse Jackson and white media plastered that on us. And that ignores our great accomplishments and suffering under Black. That's undeniable. So they'll say Africans who so Africans, oh, that's just too broad, right? But again, that's double standard in logic because they will call us Africans, and it's not too broad now. You Black Americans, you're Africans. Wait a minute, you just said that was a broad term. You can't use it. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So the double standard is that when we say African sold us, they want us to identify the exact people who sold us, what tribe, what chief, what location, what region, right? So that they can keep their specific national history. But when it comes to us, we're just generic Africans. They don't say much about us. They don't explain the chief, the tribe, the region. We're just African. That's the double standard. Okay. Okay. So let's go here. So I explained to a revenue. Yeah, tomorrow. So you could listen today. So I explained how the OMB works. I had to educate in revenue. Don't worry, I'm making little clips about you. Put them on my TikTok. Okay, so every time you were wrong and looked at crazy, I'm chopping all your stuff up and going on my TikTok account, and I'm gonna eventually put them on YouTube. All right. So now you made the mistake and said the federal government named us. That's an idiotic statement. That's an idiotic stance to take. Dumb, and that's debunked. The OMB does not name you. The OMB stands for Office of Management and Budget. Okay, and what they do, they respond to the demand for specific labels of an ethnic group, like FBA or ADOS. Okay, for example, let me Google this real fast. On March 28th, 2024, that's very recently, the White House announced the first major update to federal race and ethnicity standards since 1997. Remember, 1997 is when we were called African American, and that was known as the Statistical Policy Directive number 15. In 1997, when they labeled us as a race under African American, that was a Statistical Policy Directive number 15. Okay. So, the new announcement from the White House, it says that federal agencies are now required to collect detailed data beyond just the minimum Black African American category. So that means up until 2024, the minimum terminology was just Black and African American. So there was no way to disaggregate who is who under that label. Who was first gen, second gen, third gen, who's U.S. chattel slavery. Everybody's just Black African American. So when TETHERS comes over here and try to read let's say, wage gaps. I mean, he talks about how much we make per capita, right, versus like actual immigrant tethers. What he'll do is he'll compare or he'll gather stats from the OMB, from those generic Black African American stats, and say, look how much you Foundation Black Americans make versus immigrants. I cooked them live. I said, bro, do you know that Black African American, those stats also include all of you tethers? That's first gen, second gen, or the ones that's born here or naturalized. All of you are also in that category. You're proving our point. There's no way to differentiate who makes what once you guys become first gen, second gen, third gen tethers. There's no way. Like, you're lumped up in all of our stuff. There's no way to tell what you did and what we did. The only time you can actually pinpoint what you guys doing is when your guys are listed as immigrants. But we know he's on that spectrum. Okay. So the new standard, instead of just checking a box for Black, African American, the census must now provide subcategories or write-in areas, right? But this is new. Okay. So the government specifically listed examples like African American, Jamaican, Nigerian, and Ethiopian to distinguish between foundational lineages and immigrants groups. It's about time, but that's 2024. Okay. So during the public comment period for these new rules, the ADOS Advocacy Foundation and FBA activists submitted. Now, this is what I was trying to tell Tether knew. So Tether knew, write this down. Okay. Look what's going on behind the scene. Okay. So you need to learn, stop making a fool of yourself, giving me clips. So ADOS Advocacy Foundation and FBA activists, family, put this in your mental brain. Activists, we submitted thousands of requests for a specific African descent of slavery category, or FBA. All right. Look what happened. The Bureau acknowledged that a majority of respondents supported a category for ADOS, FBA, but what they said was these terms, ADOS, Freedmen, FBA, their clapback was it requires more study. They want to look into it a little more before they blindly put it on a form. They want to make sure it's not, a communist group or a socialist group, you know what I mean? So the government, just what I try to explain to Tether New on a fly while I was in an Uber, no Google, in an Uber, trying to explain to this Tether that the government is hesitant to make FB or ADOS an official minimum checkbox because right now the government is viewing us as a political or legal statuses rather than just ethnicities. Okay. So there is fear of creating a slave descendant box because they believe that will automatically trigger legal claims for reparations, which the Census Bureau tries to stay out of, right? So they're like, hey, man, we want no part of that. Okay. So by March 28th, 2026, federal agencies are required to submit their final action plans on how they will collect this detailed data. You see, Revenue, you dumb Tether? So this is in motion still now. The write-in solution, okay, that they have now, the Census Bureau's compromise is to encourage people to use the write-in section, family. So in the write-in section, when you check Black African American, you must write down Foundation Black American or FBA or ADOS or American Descendant Slavery, however you want to do it. U.S. Descendant Freedmen, if you think you're indigenous, whatever you got to do, you got to write that in the write-in section. That's all. Okay. So, but the fact that they're shifting, okay, the fact that the federal agency are shifting towards disaggregation, Tethenu, is a direct admission that the African label has been used as a shield to ignore the specific history of foundational Black Americans. The fact that they are conceding and doing subcategories and adding a right and area family, that fact of action is proving we're not crazy, we're not divisive, we're not xenophobic, that we're onto something. That's why the government has conceded Tether. That was not there until we started to write petitions, as I said, in the back of the damn Uber. Okay. So by allowing Nigerians to be Nigerian and Jamaicans to be Jamaican on federal forms, the government is finally making it possible to see FBA's, ADOS population as a distinct group with its own unique data for health, wealth, and justice claims. All right, family? Yeah, I got to make a short clip out of that. Yeah. Does that make sense? All we need is more African dress up. So I believe that was clear cut. That was clear cut. I think that was so deep. I'm going to make a video, put it on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, just on that. Because a lot of us don't know that much. Yeah, so no, we're not cult members, and that's the proof. We have our own information, we have our own way to debate, we got our own talking points, and we agree on basic stuff and sometimes intimate stuff, but definitely basic stuff. We definitely agree on. Okay, but we have our own research, our own style, our own swag. Cult members don't have their own swag, own style, own talking points. They borrow that of the cult leader. Right. And we're all leaders, by the way. The cult is a leader, and we're all leaders in our own right. All of our votes matter equally. Nobody, Tariq Nasheed vote doesn't count more than mine or CRU or Marvin or SWLE 44 or Dominique or Buck Horse or Chad Smith, you dig? Or Give Last or Retributor or Indigenous Warrior. Nobody vote is stronger than the next person. If Tariq voted for something and we voted, like, for example, if Tariq voted for FBA and we all voted for Sulan or ADOS or Descendant Freedmen, guess what? On the form, on a government form, it will be Solan, ADOS, and Descendants of Freedmen. If Tariq Nasheed changed his mind and said, nah, we're Solan, and the bulk of us said, nah, we like FBA, we ain't budging. Guess what? On the form, it will be FBA. It won't be what this one man chose. There's no, and that's what we mean by there's no leader of a lineage. He can't make a decision for 43 million people. Okay, we make the decision for ourselves, unless he takes the Jesse Jackson strategy, the Jesse Jackson road, and get Jewish media, white liberals, to back them up with media, propaganda, resources, money to put it on forms and, and applications, and then pay off the Republicans to be quiet and silent to give no pushback. Now, unless Tariq Nasheed can do that, then he will not be able to dictate anything by himself. Okay. SWE 44, $2 super chat. The lineage now said Tether New. Yeah, so Tether New, call in tomorrow, man. Now, if it was earlier tonight, I'll let you call in, but I don't want to be on here. It's 3 o'clock, maybe 10, 15 minutes more. I don't plan on being here too much longer. You dig? I came on late, way too late. How many hours to say? I've been on 2 hours already, bro. You come on, you're gonna get me up, cussing you out. I'm never gonna sleep. Yeah, but 42, like, if you was playing devil's advocate, bro, you was doing a good job because you was sounding like you were representing those goofies. If I ain't know any better, 42, it sounds like you came over here on behalf of those goofies. But it wouldn't matter because if you were just truly being a devil's advocate, I wiped those arguments across the floor. Okay? Swept them, then mopped them up. They're not black in any sense like us. That's why I say, man, when y'all talking and I'm talking, I'm listening to you, but you're not listening to me. And I don't know how you're going to beat me in a debate or challenge or whatever the challenge is. I don't know how you're going to do that when you don't understand what I'm saying or listening to what I'm saying. I got the advantage because I listen to you and I know what I'm saying. And what you're saying it ain't making sense. I explain exonym, endonym. I explain they're using black as an adjective, and that's not their primary ethnonym. They're Nigerian. They're from a tribe. Okay. Matter of fact, let me pull something up. 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 I'm coming home. I gotta make a new song, yeah. Somebody help me out. I'm just deleting some clips of Tetherdemics. Yeah, I had no idea who old boy even was. But when some of us know all about them, that tell me a lot about you. Like, that's what you're listening to? Oh, shit. Sounds like you're one of them. Cosplaying as being on code. So this is Representative Carla D. Cunningham standing on 10, making it known loudly and proudly.
I am ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. I am a Black American, and I am an American. I am ADOS.
There you go. I'm not African American. I'm Black American, and I'm ADOS. And ADOS is interchangeable with FBA and Descendants of Freedmen. And you could throw in Solon. I don't got a problem with that. Yeah, but y'all like the breakdown of AG gas, and that was beautiful, right? I should make a small clip of that one. AG Gaston built the Booker T. Washington Insurance Company, Smith and Gaston Funeral Homes, Citizens Federal Savings and Loan, okay, and the AJ Gaston Motel. Civil rights support. Though often considered politically conservative, he provided financial backing for the civil rights movement, famously posting $160,000 bail for Martin Luther King in 1963. You can imagine what this is at that time, probably 1.6 million. Born to the grandchildren of slaves, he built his wealth during the Jim Crow era in Birmingham, Alabama. This is why we're the best. While white people were eating out of soup kitchens, eating themselves, starving, getting set aside welfare assistance from the American government, we got none of that. We were excluded, and we became millionaires during the Jim Crow era, while the average white person was starving and needed a welfare check, a great big stimulus check. White Americans got a big welfare stimulus check during Jim Crow, while we got nothing. We were excluded and became millionaires, $30 to $40 million in the 1960s, while white folks were eating each other, starving, begging for the ADC was the first welfare program predating TANF, but welfare was always around for white people. I can't say starting, but going back to 1862 with the Homestead Act. Okay. 30 to $40 million in the 1960s. Some sources estimate his net worth was as high as 130 to $140 million by the 1990s. This is AJ Gasson, aka known as the Black Titan, not the African American Titan, the Black Titan. So we're not going to let Jesse Jackson and no white supremacists replace Black with African American when all of that rich history is tied to Black, is not tied to African American. What's tied to African American is crack. Okay, crack. The height of the crack epidemic was in the late 80s. Jesse Jackson introduced African American. Stop and frisk, African American. 94 crime bill, African American. Okay, the 3-strike rule, African American. Mass incarceration, under African American. School to prison pipeline, under African American. The broken homes and all that type of stuff, projects, African American. So African American got the dirt of us as its history. What greatness came under African American outside? You know, the only greatness that came with African American was FBA and ADOS. Their only claim to fame, the only greatness that they can lean on, is the new ethonyms FBA and ADOS. Okay. Okay, let me delete some more clips. Okay, I'll leave that there. Leave that there. There. What is this? Okay, I can delete this. Dang, that's a lot. I'm gonna do that later. You know, it's crazy. Remember the person said, show Kaba breaking down delineation? I told you I already had this. Look, 1 month ago, right here. So the person who said, hey, Kaba had the best explanation for delineation, and he didn't. But I told you, I said that sounds familiar. It's right here. Right here, 1 month ago. Already had it. Already had it clipped up. Now, so I'm supposed to be looking for something over here. Oh, I got it. Okay, so now remember 42 was talking about the black Brits. And I was like, no black Brits. These guys know exactly where they're from in Africa. They know their nationality, Nigerian, and they know their tribe. Okay. Let me provide some.
We're always open to the.
Let me provide some evidence here. Black in what sense? Definitely ain't black like us. Here we are, family. Don't believe me.
Black is not just a color.
Hold on. I'm gonna get to that next.
We're always open to the conversation because one thing being black.
Wait. You can't see the video. Here we are.
We're always open to the conversation because one thing being black Brits and we're both of Ghanaian West African heritage, but we're British.
You heard that? Black Brit. We're both Ghanaian West African culture. I told you. Black Brit is a nickname they call themselves to low-key attach themselves to us because they're using the word black. But they're using it as a descriptor. So even in that sense, we're not black the same. They're black as a descriptor. We're black as a proper noun. Ethnonym, endonym, ethnonym. They're black as a descriptor of their place in Britain. But make no mistake, like she said, she's a West African Ghanaian recent immigrant in the UK.
Always open to the conversation because one thing being black Brits and we're both of Ghanaian West African heritage, but we're British born Africans who have been to America multiple times. We're
one more time as she clarified what she mean by black Brit.
We're always open to the conversation because one thing being black Brits and we're both of Ghanaian West African heritage, but we're British.
Right. So really, family, when a lot of these African immigrants get mad at us for saying we're black and not African, they're really just talking about themselves because you have Africans that go to the UK and become black all of a sudden. And they're denying so they're really projecting. The people who are running and hiding under black and rejecting their Africanness are the Africans. They go to the UK, they're black Brits all of a sudden. They're no longer Africans. They're no longer West Africans of Ghanaian descent, Ghanaian heritage. They run to America and they're no longer Jamaican or African, Nigerian. Right now, they're black Americans, African Americans. They've run their ass to Canada and now they're just Canadian. They run to Scotland and they're the black Scottish, the black Irish. So, family, when they get mad at us for saying we're black and not African, they're actually confusing us with themselves. We always been black. They're the ones who are running to other countries, disrobing their Africanness, their West Africanness, their tribes, and they're taking on black. So they're actually projecting it on us. They're the ones ashamed to be African, West African, and from a particular tribe. They're stripping that off and putting on black. And when other Africans from the same tribe or same nationality see that, they call them out and say, hey, man, you guys are ashamed to be African. So when they see us, they think we're doing the same thing. It's like, no, bro, we've never been African. So that's what's really going on. All right, so hold on. Let me back this up a little bit. Doesn't that make more sense?
Why keep America attached? Because America has a lot of blood on its hands. That name carries like a curse. So why would we adopt that? That whole name to me is problematic.
How so?
Unless it's just temporary.
How's the name problematic?
Well, kind of what I just listed out is it has redundancies. It opens up the door for other people claim that they're foundational, other ethnic groups. Like I said, even just alone, if blacks are the foundational Americans, we could just leave the black part out.
Now, why do you have a problem with the word black? There's nothing wrong with black.
Because I feel like that's a term that was put on us as to put us in like a racial caste system and place us at the bottom. We went from Negro, which is
your boy
a
Jesse.
variant of black. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, what he just said was he just described Jesse Jackson agenda. Yeah, that's what Jesse Jackson's intentions were, not ours.
As to put us in like a racial caste system, we could just leave the black part out.
No,
And he's tongue tied. You know, they got that little list going on.
why do you have a problem with the word black? There's nothing wrong with black.
Because I feel like that's a term that was put on us as to put us in like a racial caste system and place us at the bottom. We went from Negro, which is a variant of black. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we embraced it and we turned it into something, but it's not a name that we originally called ourselves. That's my problem with that.
Well, the thing is, different circumstances, people call themselves different names. All ethnic groups based on circumstances, like certain Indians, Creek Indians, they didn't call themselves Creek Indians. That was a name that the Europeans came and saw. It's okay, you guys live by the creek, you're Creek Indians.
That's called an exonym. Remember, out name. Exo out, nim name, out name. Outsiders name them.
So the thing is, black, understand this, black is not just a color. That signifies a lineage and a struggle. You understand?
Family, I've been saying that, right? So this is why I kind of get upset when Tariq Nasheed let them call themselves black. It's like, Tariq, you just articulated exactly what black is. It's more than a color. It describes a lineage and struggle. So why are you letting them say black, that they're black? What lineage and struggle are they tied to? Don't worry. When I connect with Tariq on TikTok, we'll get it together. Trust me. It'll come.
What country don't have blood on it by the white supremacists?
So, but why would we take America, which is it has nothing to do with black, nothing, anything. America.
What country doesn't have white blood on it?
I mean, I couldn't tell you off the top of the head.
Tell you none. Well, only one, North Sentinel Island. That's it. Well, white blood because they didn't kill the white people who went there, but yeah, every place the white supremacists shed blood. So you can't just single out America. Black is not just a color. It's not just a melanin. It's based on a lineage. You understand? It's based on resistance. We actually chose black because they were saying Negro and the N-word and colored and all of that. We weren't just foundational because we were early Americans. We were foundational because we were the black people whose free labor shaped the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So erasing black, you're erasing the reason why America owes a debt to that. That's why.
Ain't that what I've been saying, family? I said it in a different way. I said black is tied to black Reconstruction. So we kind of saying the same thing, just in a different way. You dig? Same thing, different way. That's called great minds think alike. That's called lineage minds think alike. We're saying the same thing. The only difference is I'm like, let's restrict calling non-foundation black Americans black, because that's when the confusion is added. But right now he's on it. I'm going to make a clip of this later. So when we do speak, I could play this, but I'm going to chop it up where he gets right to the point. And yeah. Don't worry, family. We're going to get it. We're going to get it right.
But we're not going to do just foundational American because we were the black people whose free labor shaped the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So erasing black, you're erasing the reason why America owes a debt to that. That's why we're not going to do just foundational American, because yeah, other people can kind of slip in and try to say that they were the foundation of something. No, it's foundational Black American. Foundational Black American is vague, is easily hijacked.
Okay, so you're looking at it in a political sense then.
No, just say, oh, you got some white people from the Mayflower who can say, well, we're foundational Americans. No, well, foundational Black Americans, it protects the identity from appropriation and political delusion, you know?
Okay, so yeah, all right, so there are other foundational Americans then aside from Black people.
No, they can try to play that game that they're foundational. Well, they can say like Thomas Jefferson, like the founding fathers. They can play,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Those were people
Okay.
who were they founded the Constitution. So technically, yeah, some of those guys, the Thomas Jeffersons, the George Washingtons, the founding fathers. But yeah, we were just as instrumental and more important. And we're not white. We're foundational Black Americans. We were the labor force and the cultural force that built this up. So we want you to know exactly who did it. That's why Black is very, very important.
I wonder if we were the architects, though. I believe this country Blacks were used for labor, but you know, the crafters of this nation were Anglo white men.
Really? How come they didn't craft that in Europe then?
Well, they left Europe because of persecution and came over here and did their own thing.
Okay, how did they come over here and magically know all of this stuff?
Well, you know, I'm sure they used a lot of deception and, you know, I understand how they get down, but still, you know.
Also, when they did try to found colonies over here by themselves, because the white supremacists did come over here and try to found white colonies over here, European colonies, without slave labor. Well, some with the slave labor, some without. All of them failed before 1619. All of them failed. They couldn't do it. Why couldn't they do it on their own?
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I gotta get a soundboard. I think a soundboard make this show dope. I seen one at Walmart. It was $90. $90. I had already spent $128. I bought a coffee maker and a whole bunch of stuff for the house. But yeah, soundboard soundboard is $90. So when we get around to it, I'll use some of the donation money, the Cash App money, to go towards that soundboard. But I really want this soundboard. I think I'm missing that. I'm missing the sound effects.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we weren't this shit where we were just the laborers. Have you visited some of these plantations?
I haven't. I'm stuck in SoCal. I'm from California.
Louisiana.
Let me stop it right there. I'm gonna come back to this. Well, I'm gonna chop it up. Okay, but let me play this right here.
How do you define Black? See, here's the problem. Here's the problem that people have. I believe we should be defined.
Okay, so now, so you heard Tariq's definition of Black. Let's hear Yvette Cornell's.
How do you define Black? See, here's the problem. Here's the problem that people have. I believe we should be defined as something other than Black. And that's why we went to the White House Office of OMB and said, call us ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery.
So I told you that, Tether knew, hope you're still up. I told you that FBA's and ADOS Advocacy Foundation were writing the OMB, you piece of trash, Tether. They were directly telling them, hey, stop calling us Black African American. That has a dual usage and it confuses everybody. It got foreigner immigrants believing they're Black like us, okay? And they got us believing when we read African American on stats or Black on stats, we believe we're reading just us. So both of us are confused, okay? So now she said, let's go with ADOS to avoid all that confusion. We say just add the foundational before Black American. That also avoids all that confusion. But let me take it from the top.
How do you define Black? See, here's the problem. Here's the problem that people have. I believe we should be defined as something other than Black. And that's why we went to the White House Office of OMB and said, call us ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, the institution. When people hear black, though, when people come to America and they hear black, they think people that come from chattel slavery, sharecropping, Jim Crow, redlining, Fair Housing Act, discrimination. And so American blackness is distinctly different than everywhere else. How do you define black?
You heard that? So one more time. One more time.
Jim Crow, red chattel slavery. They think people come to America and they hear black. They think people that come from chattel slavery, sharecropping.
So this is what people think when they hear black.
Hear black, though. When people come to America and they hear descendants of slavery, the institution. When people hear black, though, when people come to America and they hear black, they think people that come from chattel slavery, sharecropping, Jim Crow.
See? So, hey, 42, are you listening? So the way we define black exactly what she's saying, my guy. Capital B, proper noun. We don't think of a color or a descriptor.
Redlining, Fair Housing Act, discrimination. And so American blackness is distinctly different than everywhere else. How do you define black?
So American blackness is distinctively different than everywhere else. Is that clear, man? Is that clear? Okay. All right. Listen to this.
Guys to listen and be like, you know what? It's not their fault that they saying these things. It's what's been taught to them. And we gotta remember.
So now this Haitian man is giving his Haitian family a pass. It's not their fault about the horrible things they only say about Foundation Black Americans. Not Jamaicans, not Trinidadians, not the other thousands of islanders, not the Brazilians, not the Cubanos, not any country from Africa or any tribe. Only Foundation Black Americans. Why does all these people redirect their hate towards us? So he's saying it's not their fault. They've been taught this. This is a Haitian man explaining why his Haitian people come with so much hate towards Foundation Black Americans. Listen very closely.
Young guys to listen and be like, you know what? It's not their fault that they saying these things. It's what's been taught to them. And we gotta remember the people that are back on the island or in the continent of Africa. It's what's being told to them about the black man, the black people in America. So they already come in with this told. It's what's being.
So you see, so he said they already come here. So where is Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler? He tried to pretend that they developed these ideas once they're already here. This Haitian man, which we already know, they're taught that they're prepped that way before they even get here. Okay, so stop with the lies, Dr. Ruxpin. Stop with the lies.
What's been taught to them. And we gotta remember the people that are back on the island or in the continent of Africa, it's what's being told to them about the black man, the black people in America.
The black man, black. So you see how he's even distinctive when he say black people, he's talking about us. But when he's talking about Haitians, he say Haitians. When he say Africans, he say Africans. But when he's talking about Foundation Black Americans, ADOS, descendants of freedmen, they say black people. Like Yvette said, when you think of black people, they think of U.S. chattel slavery, not a black Brit.
So they already come in with these prefixes in their mind.
So they already come here, Dr. Ruxpin. They already come here with these prefixes in their mind. So their mind is already made up before they even touch down in America.
The black man, the black people in America. So they already come in with these prefixes in their mind already to be prejudiced.
To be prejudiced against Foundation Black Americans. Okay, let's stop it, bro.
And from there, it just keeps on going. So I think it reinforces the credit. Young guys to listen.
Okay, so stop lying to us. And I heard you got a Jamaican wife, so you got to come clean, bro. That's either true or false. Okay, so I got something else for you.
So somebody misinterpreting history, that has nothing to do with the fact that Foundational Black American is a lineage that's documented. All right? Even if a handful of Foundational Black Americans told you, well, I think we were the first Native Americans, or I feel like I'm a Native American, now whatever. Our lineage is still our lineage. All right. None of that stuff. Nobody's ideology deletes plantation archives, Freedmen Bureau records, the 1700 census pages. None of that stuff gets deleted. Our paperwork is still there. Our lineage is still there.
And that was my nuclear bomb for the Tariq Nasheed haters that try to use the 3-star flag against FBA and Tariq Nasheed. Like that audio right there was the nuclear bomb to that. But I decided not to even address them anymore because they got to get their weight up. They got to get their weight up. Okay. They're out here live for 19 hours straight with only 700 total live viewers. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? Let me just focus on the lineage. Hey, so let me do a quick roll call and then we're out of here. Again, once again, family, I appreciate you guys. You definitely represented tonight. We liked the video, 105 likes with a consistent viewership of like 90 people. That's good. So shout out to Buck Horse. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you. I am 6 liking the video. CRU Reality FBA. Thank you for liking the video. Thank Buck Horse. Thank Indigenous Warrior. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you. Yeah, CRU. I agree that Tariq is coming around to my argument. That's why, I think the big brother be tapping in. And that's why I'll be trying to tap in with him to just officially meet up, link up. SLLE44. Thank you for liking the video, family. Thank you, Tutney's, for liking the video. Thank you. What's out there? Dominique F. Hudson. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you. I think Edward liked the video. I think so. I'm gonna thank you. Who else is out there? Okay. Well, other people kind of were quiet. I see a 04 there. I can't read it, but I see a 04. Let me see. Oh, Marvin. I can see now. I had to unpin the link. Marvin, thank you for liking the video. Chad Smith, thank you for liking the video. Dominique said you be cooking. And family, I'm gonna touch more on this OMB thing tomorrow. I know Kwame Revenue is gonna call in and with some BS. And I'm gonna give them 10 minutes, uninterrupted time to go in. All right. To say whatever you want to say, address whatever you want to say, and even Tether Dream, if he Jamaican Dream, if he call in tomorrow, 10 minutes, bro, just go in. Whatever you think you debunked, whatever chat GPT findings you want to read off, go. 10 minutes straight, teach your BS, and I'm gonna come behind and Edward Scissorhands chop it all up, cut it all up. Right, family. So I'm gonna officially end the live. I see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate all of y'all. B1, we won, and we are winning. By the way, we are winning. We got we know that Tethers can't survive on social media without making us their content. So it's bittersweet because it's bitter that they're defaming us, but it's sweet that they're helping signal boost our delineation movement and reparation movement. So I mean, so they're like backhandedly complimenting the delineation and reparation movement. You dig? You dig to the family and no diggity to the cats. Cats is the acronym for Coons and Tethers. We out.